I drive like Uber. On the road like the runner bee. These coyotes can't catch up with me. Got these hits blowing like TNT. I gotta drive like Uber. Yeah, all these lions in this pride with me. Hunting on the daily cause the dream ain't free. Gotta get it now. Time to wait for me. I gotta drive like Uber.
All right. We are back with another episode of the Dinner Club Podcast. I'm your host with the most, Lionel Walker, a.k.a. the Lion of Many Hunts. I got my co-host in the building, Tyson, man.
What's going on?
Man, a whole bunch of shit going on. Just trying to stay sane during these times, man. Figure out what's going on in the world. I don't want to hold people up today. First off, we want to start with a moment of silence for Memorial Day, and thank all the veterans, all the lost veterans, everybody, you know what I'm saying? Prisoners of war, civilians that we lost during these wars.
Missing in action, killed in action.
Absolutely. We want to have a moment of silence for everybody. So it's going to take a 10-second moment of silence starting now. All right, and thank you very much for your sacrifice and everything that you've done for us to be able to enjoy our freedoms that we have today. It's kind of funny that we're going to have this conversation and it's Memorial Day because I want to talk about some of that a little bit. First off, I want to touch on how, like, I think people are taking things for advantage in this lifetime right now, where it's like, listen, man, people had to sacrifice a lot more than wearing masks for a couple of months and shit like that. And today's a day that you should remember that people had to storm, D-Day and all of this other stuff. You know what I mean? So, like, let's just try to sober up a little bit and remember, like, all the sacrifices that were made for us to enjoy all the freedoms that we have right now. You know what I'm saying? So, like, let's just take a moment to, just appreciate the luxury of life that we have right now instead of everybody squawking and barking about nothing all the time.
Yeah. I mean, and just think about the fact that someone paid the price. Like, a price had to be paid no matter what you wanted the outcome to be. Something had to be paid. And the fact that you didn't have to pay it and you're here to enjoy it is just something that we can't take lightly and we can't take for granted. We have to always look and say, hey, that could have been X if not for Y. You get what I'm saying? If this person didn't do that, then we wouldn't have this. And every time that we take a moment to kind of reflect on that, I think it helps us move forward a little bit more consciously and a little bit more compassionately with our fellow man.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting, man, because it's like, again, like I said, I'm kind of all worn out with people trying to compare this shit to slavery and shit like that. Like, I'm honestly at the point now with a lot of you people that are swearing y'all liberal and shit, but are doing that is mad disrespectful and mad fucking racist. And you got to stop doing that shit. You should even like consult with the black friend before you run around trying to say that these masks are the same thing as chattel slavery and people wearing torture devices across their face. Like, we're not gonna be playing this shit no more with anybody. I'm really over it. It's starting to get hot. I'm hot than a motherfucker already. I'm heavy set, so it gets hot early for us. All right. My AC's not working the way it's supposed to be internally. All right. And I'm not fucking around. My compressor's broke and I'm not fucking around right now. Y'all starting to get me super hot with some of the bullshit that I'm starting to see with people out here. So, like, let's just sober up a little bit. And again, understand that this might be difficult for some, but it's not as difficult as the things we faced in the past as a species, as a humanity. You know what I'm saying? So just get over yourself, man.
Absolutely. No, I was actually saying, I was making the comparison. You can't really compare it, a first world inconvenience to torture. You can't. So, just stop making those comparisons. Again, the same Memorial Day kind of theme is just think about it for a second. When you're about to say how hard it is, or you feel like this freedom, this right, this liberty is being taken from you, just take a second, breathe, and think about everything up until now that had to be sacrificed in order for you to be right there to say that very thing. And just, at least for today, be like, not today.
Well, and the thing that's interesting to me is the people that feel inconvenienced by wearing a mask. I want to segue into this topic, the first topic that we're going to start with, because I really want to talk about real inconvenience. First off, this is going to be my 5th child, and I've been to every appointment, even regardless whether or not my situations was healthy with the women or not at that time. But this one, especially, I've been to every single appointment, everything. Right. And I can tell you right now that there are sacrifices that I'm making that's much bigger than a mask. Like, for example, my daughter and myself have to stay in the car. I've only got to hear my child's heartbeat once the entire pregnancy. You understand what I'm saying? You're talking about the mental wear and tear of having, human hospitality of wearing a mask in a space to keep everybody healthy, including yourself, versus me not being able to hear my child's heartbeat. or, you know, be there for the ultrasound, or, you know, just certain things I wasn't allowed to do. And even now, you know, there's going to be more things coming up soon that I'm not allowed to do. But forget me. That's just me as a father. Think about women right now who are pregnant. Like right now, literally, my wife is pregnant. And, you know, the last time we went to the hospital, we were informed about some things that are changing as far as, like, I don't know if you heard about this whole Kawasaki, I think they're calling it right now, that's affecting a lot of the kids with COVID symptoms. So you having kids out here just dropping from cardiac arrest. So again, you can play this whole game that like somebody's fear mongering and all this other stuff, but statistically in the hospitals, in the hospital rooms, there's something going on. You know what I'm saying? Something that's foreign to what we know. So we can play this whole semantics games we want to. That's fine. And I understand that people are going to play these semantics games because they want to go outside. That's fine. Go the fuck outside. You do you, bro, because I'm at the I am legend phase where if you don't make it, fuck it. We just gotta let Darwinism do his job. But when my wife is pregnant and I'm looking up stories like this, it's really, you know, nerve-wracking in a lot of ways for all the pregnant women out here who are carrying or bearing children right now, and trying to have a healthy pregnancy during this time. So let's talk about this topic real quick, because it looks like things have changed drastically, and it looks like this COVID-19 appears to be attacking the placenta during pregnancy, studies say. Hold on one second. I'm going to reshare that because I want to make sure I get the audio for this video clip for you. I want you to actually hear this from, you know, some female perspectives on how they're dealing with all of this right now, because it's really not easy to be dealing with.
Right. Times where I'm like, you know, I've got this, I'm strong, I can deliver a baby on my own. And then the next minute I'm crying for hours in the shower. Not only am I 39 weeks pregnant, but I also have a husband who's an ER physician and on the front line every day. I worry not only about him every day, you know, being exposed to positive patients, but I also worry about myself.
I am a registered nurse, and so instead of taking my leave at 39 weeks, I decided to take it early. I have no idea how it's going to work with getting paid.
My doctor can tell me all these things right now, but in 3 weeks, like, what's it gonna look like then? With my last pregnancy, I hemorrhaged a lot and I had to have a blood transfusion. And I know the blood banks are starting to run low.
I want to be prepared in case it's a disaster area there and that I don't want to be at the hospital. But I'm also getting a lot of information from friends and family being like, don't deliver at home, that's so dangerous. And other people, don't go to the hospital, that's so dangerous. And so it's just so much information to process.
How do we deal with this? Do we switch providers? Do we switch hospitals?
It'll be Raina kind of by herself, with me and our doula supporting virtually.
I was there when our daughter was born. I held her first because Hannah had a C-section, and that was like a really important moment. And just the idea that she wouldn't be there was heartbreaking. So now, at almost 38 weeks pregnant, I have decided to have a home birth.
I'm already just assuming that I will labor alone.
Mm.
The reason why you have a support network that comes to the hospital is so that, you know, someone's watching over you often and speaking up for you and communicating what your needs are. And now I'm going to have to do that for myself.
There is no signs of, you know, the virus slowing down. So as much as things continue to continue this way, my husband is going to be working more. So there are times where he probably will stay away from us for, you know, a few days or weeks.
But we have in our kitchen a big sliding glass door. And our plan is to have the deck chairs out there and allow people to come and sit in the chairs. And we'll stand on this side of the door with the baby so they can see him.
So again, when we're talking about all these sacrifices that people have to make just wearing a mask, shut the fuck up. Okay, seriously. And it's getting to the point where it's so annoying because you're so self-centered at that point that you can't see anything else around you, including other people's lives, irregardless of whether or not you think it can affect you or harm you in a certain way. We know for certain one thing, either side of the ball is talking about it, is that it does affect a certain group of people. Women who are pregnant have weakened immune systems. So not only can it affect them, it can affect their placenta. You understand what I'm saying? I might be taking this a little bit more personal because it's closer to home for me, but at the same time, I'm not that type of person. And knowing this, I could not be at risk, quote unquote. You know what I'm saying? I do have asthma. I'm over here struggling now, half the time, but that doesn't mean that I'm fearful of anything. I'm just mindful. I'm careful. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with being careful. So a small study of 16 pregnant women who tested positive for COVID-19 found evidence of injury to their placenta, the organ that acts as the gut, kidneys, livers, lungs for a fetus during pregnancy. Pathological exams completed directly following birth found evidence of insufficient blood flow from the mother to the fetus and blood clots in the placenta that might interfere with the placenta's role in delivering oxygen and nutrients from the mother's bloodstream to the growing baby and removing waste products from the baby's blood. So you got to understand, like, we've already heard a multitude of things that we typically don't hear with a lot of other things, such as, I mean, it has been seen before, viruses passing through semen, but not in the manner that COVID is. You tell me the last time when they talked about the flu affecting placentas. You tell me the last time when they talked about the flu making children have cardiac arrest. I'm not looking for babies take it all, so you have the extra. Yeah, exactly. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, we can't get to the point. Listen, I could almost slightly partially understand the ignorance of the youth and relegating the old people as whatever.
Right.
But when you have people younger than you that are now at risk and you're not being mindful of that, you are a failed generation at this point. You understand what I'm saying? Not all of you, not all, but the ones that just don't care, even finding out now that kids are being affected, are a failed generation at this point. I'm cool with reopening, but what I'm not cool with is us reopening in a manner that we're not taking precautions. Like, you want to go to the fucking beach, go to the beach. You know what I'm saying? But here's the problem. Can you make sure that you're mitigating how much contact you're having with people?
Right.
Like, I know that we're social creatures, but we can't be so blind to the fact that of right now, living in the moment right now, that we're willing to risk our futures.
Well, and that's the thing about being a social creature, even within that, is the fact that, well, if you're spreading something that could be a detriment to being social, you want to try to stop that as quickly as possible so you can be social. It seems counterintuitive, but it's exactly what needs to be done. We need to take that step back in order to make sure that the other human being is safe, good to go, so we can interact. And people are missing that component just because they're so focused on what I need right now or what I want to happen right now or how they feel about their rights. And just thinking of the childbirth aspect, obviously you're going through it. So you're kind of having to sit back and not be in the appointments like you want to be. And as you should be, right? As a father, you want to be there. But you're taking an action that is already dangerous in a sense to speak, right? That already has its own risks, just having a child, going through labor, doing all of that. And then you're removing a key component of the support system to communicate if there might be an issue, if there might be something that you need to run and help with, or just being there for emotional support. You're eliminating that aspect, which adds stress to the environment. So now you have an added risk that has nothing to do with COVID at all. That just could be something that the mother now has hypertension because she's giving birth and can't have her support system there. There's layers to this, people. It's not just COVID. It's the outlying effects.
Yeah, I just don't get it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm losing faith in humanity. Like, almost every day this pandemic goes by. And not because, again, you could think it's not that serious. But we do know one thing, something is going on. You know, there's people debating the mortality rate, the whatever. Tell that to the 100,000 people that are on the cover of New York Magazine. You know what I'm saying? And again, they always talk about all these, you know, they're sensationalizing, Like, bro, you got to slow down. You got to slow down. You want to be outside so bad that you're willing to think that everything is a conspiracy whatsoever. You know what I'm saying? What happened to 5G? That shit fell off. Like, you know what I'm saying? A couple of weeks ago, 5G was the biggest thing going on. Then all of a sudden, poof, motherfuckers start enjoying that faster connection, and poof, that shit's gone. Everybody got their new fucking iPhone 11s, and poof, you forgot about fucking 5G all of a sudden. Like, come on, man. Yeah, my wife just said,
Postpartum.
watch how much postpartum depression skyrockets.
Yep.
It's true. You know what I'm saying? And like honestly, I'm thankful that my wife has me right now. You know what I'm saying? Because like I've been here, I'm ready to rock. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, I almost delivered this baby in the car. Nyla, I almost delivered this baby in the car. We got there 3 minutes, later. That baby would have been in my lap. You know what I'm saying? And I'm kind of like cool under pressure. So I'm going to be there supportive the whole way. But you know what I'm saying? Like when you have already so many, think about the non-vaxxers, right? You know what I'm saying? I hate to go back to them, right? But you say you don't want the vaccine because it might harm your child. Well, does this change your perspective a little bit, at least on the fact that even catching a disease can harm your child? Like there's so many things like hepatitis, all these things that you can catch and you're not vaccinated for that will still affect your child. Birth, you understand what I'm saying? Like there's so many birth defects that come from catching viruses. So I don't get where we find a middle ground here. We have to have some kind of middle ground here, man.
And well, so I think the thing is that people don't realize that two things can be true at the same time. A vaccine can be harmful as well as the disease can be harmful. If we can just admit that those two things can be true, then we can probably start to find a middle ground. The problem is you have people on both sides that are so extreme saying that this is the only way and that this is the only way versus acknowledging, this can hurt some people. This can hurt some people. What you have to decide is how do you meet in the middle to say, all right, we understand the risks. And are you willing to accept the risks that come with not doing something or doing something and not making it a moral stance, but making it a preferential stance? And then you have to live accordingly from that point on. If you're not vaccinated, you got to live a certain way. If you are vaccinated, you can live a different way. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, but my thing is like we've turned into a society, especially here. This isn't global all the time. This is a lot going on here where we've polarized and politicized everything, bro. We argue white bread versus wheat bread. This shit's out of control, bro.
I like honey wheat.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, this shit's out of control. You got people judging people because they want to eat their gluten. Leave them motherfuckers alone, bro. It's just like we were talking about people's preferences before when we were talking about body image issues. Well, leave people alone when it comes to some of their lifestyle choices. If they choose, if somebody's willing to, like, look, Evel Knievel, right? Am I gonna sit there and fucking tell Evel, yo, that's a dangerous job, bro? Yo, no, bro, bro. He's gonna do what the fuck he wants.
Right.
To,
he's like, then you don't do it.
Yeah, exactly. You don't do it, fam. You know what I'm saying? I know mad people that don't want to skydive. I skydive. I can't wait to do it again. People like, why would you jump out of a perfectly good airplane? I don't know. I did it. I liked it. I'll do it again. You don't do it. That's your fear. Exactly. Don't put me in your fear bubble, bro. And also, don't always put fear on people just practicing good preparedness. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I've been waiting for shit like this because I've been reading the history books. If anybody's been paying attention, this shit was bound to happen, whether it been a natural disaster, a pandemic, or another war. We're always on the edge of something going on, bro. Did people forget right before this? We was like flirting with World War III. Like we was flirting with it. We was flirting with it. And even during it, because Iran, the topic of the day, we're still flirting with the shit. You understand what I'm saying?
People are still jockeying for positions in the ocean.
Exactly. So like, let's like, bro, we got to slow down, especially here in America, bro. We got to slow down. Like today is a day to be somber about life and understand the importance of it. Because today, yesterday marked the 100,000 death toll. I'm going to pull that up right now. My man Tyson got this from the Wall Street Journal. Let's pull this up real quick.
It's nearing it over the weekend. It was like 98,000 or something like that.
So the U.S. marks Memorial Day weekend as coronavirus death toll nears 100,000. More than 5.3 million have been infected worldwide. U.S. adds travel restrictions to hard-hit Brazil. The U.S. government said it's imposing the new travel restrictions to Brazil, blah, 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 blah. I'm not subscribing to shit. Screw y'all. But you get the gist, okay? And it's pretty interesting. I want to let Tyson touch on that because he put in the notes, like, we want to talk about the importance and the insignificance of it at the same time.
Right. So now when you look at this, it's important because life is valuable regardless of how we feel about it. If you don't think those people were healthy, if you think they were old, they had a life. Okay, so it's valued. So that's what makes that number important. The insignificant side of it is I want to take what everyone's going to throw at it. Oh, well, hospitals kill 250,000 people a year, but they service nearly 70 million people a year. You get what I'm saying? We're globally looking at 5.3 million and 100,000 deaths just in the US. We're not talking globally. Global, it's over 300,000 It's almost 400,000, I believe, right now. So even when we look at the global numbers, the US is approximately 25% of those numbers. So still insignificant when there's 75% outside of there. But that is still a number that needs to be taken into consideration when we're looking at how we're treating it. Do you really want 100,000 people to die from this? Yes, people die from tobacco, secondhand smoke. People try to bring that one up. Oh, well, 40,000 people die from secondhand smoke. Okay, but that's still something that someone else had to make a decision. They can quit smoking. You can't quit a virus. You don't have control over that. That's not something that you can make the conscious decision to say, I'm not going to spread that today. All right. If you have it and you accidentally do it, even with the best of intentions, it can still happen. So taking the precautions is something that we kind of have to do, whether you believe it or not, whether you think it's a conspiracy or not. It's like, it doesn't hurt you to do it.
I don't understand frivolous points that people make. Do you understand that there are people who have died tripping, putting on their fucking underwear, hitting
Absolutely.
their head off a table? Like, just come on, people. Like, stop it. For real. You never watched 1,000 Ways to Die and been amazed by the stupidity of other
and
people?
You're like, a toothpick?
You're like, really, bro? Really, bro? You fucking hit your head on a salt shaker and got some pepper in your eye, and somehow that did some weird chemical shit and fucked this shit up. Like, you people got, like, listen, man, I'm not Einstein, and that's what I always say this shit when I'm on here. I'm not Einstein, and it scares me how fucking, like, stupid. Like, I can't even think of, I was trying to think of a nicer word. Stupid.
Idiotic.
When it comes to just common sense, you know what I'm saying? I've always talked about this. There are a lot, I praise you people who are book smart and savvy, and you got your little degree, but most of y'all are the ones that's out of fucking work, and you're looking at the fast food workers right now being essential to life. Right. You understand what I'm saying? Maybe you should start thinking about how the paradigm is shifting on your ass, because your office space is going to be critical for a long time. You understand what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of things that this shit should have sobered society up too, but just people just don't want to make the curve, bro. It's like there's so resistance to change, but change is going to take place whether or not you resist it or not.
And that's why it goes back to, you have to decide, is this number significant for you or is it not significant for you? And that's how you move. That's how you have to take that energy and now move through the rest of your life like that. This is a pivotal moment in our history to decide how much do we actually care about humanity, and in what ways are we willing to show it? Not just be like, oh, thoughts and prayers go to the families. What actions are we willing to take to really say those lives mattered, and we don't want something like that to affect us? All the things we have control over, we know we can take care of those. The things that we can't, those are the ones that we need to take the precautions for and really say, this is for humanity.
While we're throwing frivolous stats out there, since people just want to talk about random shit, do you know how many people die a year choking on the tip of a ballpoint pen? 100 people die every year. Stop underestimating the stupidity of people. Understand this, bro. People have died browsing the internet in the bath. Okay, like just if you want to look this up, I'm on whatculture.com and a few other sources, and I'm looking this up. So understand that people have died, literally was dumb enough to try to use their laptop while they're taking a bath, you assholes. Like, you understand what I'm telling you, bro? Like, you have to understand what's going on out here, bro. Like, you know, people who keep big cats as
someone's blaming the internet for that.
Blaming the internet.
Yep. I mean, Siegfried and Roy. People will always blame the thing. Like, oh, see, that's the internet's fault. If it wasn't so enticing, they wouldn't have wanted to look at it in the bath. We need to get rid of the internet. Five piece back, just like that.
People have died getting pissy drunk and dying in sub-zero temperatures because they passed out. I mean, is getting drunk, getting lit really worth it in the Arctic Circle? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's crazy, man. Like, you gotta understand something. People have died from holding their poop in.
Yep.
People have died from holding their poop and their pee in. People have died trying to be Batman out here. You feel what I'm saying? Like, it's just not a game. You got to understand that, like, life has a multitude of ways you can go out. Some that most are not within your control. Think about it. When's the last person that chose how they was going to die, sadly, probably committed suicide.
Yep.
You understand what I'm saying? The rest of us are just on the fucking ride. We don't know. So this false sense of like we have control of everything and we know everything is bullshit, bro. I'm never afraid to not know something because my ability to not know something leaves me room to learn. And it's so many people out here, like literally, seriously. Like I remember being in school and like I was a badass kid, right? But the part that my teachers couldn't understand because I was super sharp and super smart and super motivated, But when I was done with my shit, I would be a fucking class clown and wreak havoc on the rest of the class.
Yep.
But I remember you motherfuckers in class. Like, I remember you motherfuckers that wouldn't even raise your hand, and I was the bad kid that they would call, be like, he's not going to know the answer, and knew the fucking answer.
And knew the fucking answer. Yep.
Okay, there was a difference. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not tooting my own horn here, but I'm telling you, I'm not Einstein. And there were a lot of dumbasses that I went to school with, and there are still a lot of dumbasses now surrounding me all over the place. They feel smart because they keep themselves in yes circles. They feel safe because relatively they are safe because they don't take any risk at anything in life. There's a big difference to people who grew up in risky environments, for real, for real. There's a difference between somebody who has a heroin addicted parent but never fucked with them and a heroin addicted parent who fucked them up all the time. There's a difference. There's nuances to everybody's life. I'm not trying to marginalize anybody's experience or whatever like that. What I'm actually trying to do is get you to appreciate everyone else's experience. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, it gets fucked up when we can't communicate in a way or understand in a way that we can't see outside of our own bubbles. This internet shit, this algorithm shit has made the bubbles worse than ever. I work my hardest to break my bubble all the time. I'm around motherfuckers you wouldn't even normally see me around, wouldn't even normally see me hanging with. I literally try to go out of my way to shift my algorithm by interacting with people that normally wouldn't allow me to. You understand what I'm saying?
And you got to get, I guess the most important thing that I heard there is you got to get outside your echo chambers. You have to break the walls of your echo chamber and get real feedback. Don't just get what you believe is going to positively affect you and keep you going. You need to be challenged.
I only live to be challenged at this point. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what keeps me evolving. The challenge, the great challenge of everything. You understand what I'm saying? And it's just like the people who keep doubling down on their cognitive dissonance is just, it's getting out of hand, bro. Like, I'm really worried about us as a society, man. Like, I'm not a doom and gloom. And honestly, I'm going to tell you the truth. Like, the only reason I'm worried about it is because you niggas ain't going to make it. I'm going to be fine. Like, I'm out here, son. And if I go out, I'm going out fighting, period. Like, that's just in my DNA, bro. But a lot of people out here get this tough talk on the internet and all this other shit, like these keyboard warriors and shit, and these keyboard doctors and these keyboard psychiatrists and these fucking Google, YouTube link motherfuckers who don't even actually go practice anything that they preach or experiment with anything are just, there's too many of them. There's too many of them. This is why cool, quote unquote, is not cool anymore. Because the lanes have taken over, bro. The lanes have taken over. Like, you're out. Listen, when you were cool, you were always outnumbered. But the difference now is that the lanes have such a palpable voice that they just get to be lame. They just get to fucking be lame and dumb and whatever. And I'm not just talking
about.
They'll
find someone.
Yeah, I'm not just talking about cool being the jock. Like, I work out, but nigga, I'm more about this. This is my strongest muscle. You know what I'm saying? I'm always focused on this muscle. You feel what I'm saying? More than anything, even when I'm working out, it's to work this muscle. It's to give my mental dexterity, to push my limits. You understand what I'm saying? So it's like, when I'm talking about cool, don't think the atypical jock and the jack. I'm talking nerdy cool to jockey cool. But the motherfuckers that contribute nothing to society, the analysts that contribute nothing but opinions that don't fucking matter or are based on nothing but doubling down on what they already felt anyway, because they're too soft to challenge themselves. They're too soft to challenge their own ideas. That shit is sickening, bro. Like, I don't know how to deal with this shit anymore. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I'm having a go off episode.
But you're bringing up a good point, because that's supposed to be the basis of the scientific method. You're supposed to go in with a hypothesis looking for either disapproval or approval. You're not supposed to go in looking for one or the other. You're supposed to be going in looking for whatever comes out of it. And too many people are going in looking for just what their hypothesis was, so they can try to turn that into a law or a theory. And we need more people to enter going, this could be right or wrong, but I just need to practice this to see what the outcome's going to be. And that's how we can move.
Yeah, bro. Like, what are we gonna do with the scientific method when niggas don't listen to the scientists?
Well, what happens when you have so many scientists that conflict each other for dollars? Think about it. The pandemic documentary that came out, they made that literally knowing some of their stuff is whatever wonky, but they made it just because they knew they could make $1 off of it and move their rep. You have a woman that was outside of Gelson's grocery store who sells books about like anti-vax and anti-government control and things like that, and she goes and causes a little scene at the store just so she can record it, so she can put it on the internet saying they wouldn't let her in the store without a mask, and saying that they were violating HIPAA without knowing what the HIPAA laws actually state.
Yeah, it's
and that their facilities, and you know what I mean. So you've got people doing that just for dollars, just for clicks.
Yeah, man. Listen, it's getting crazy, man. And like, listen, like the other half of the world was already looking at us like we're crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But this shit is getting really, really bad now. You understand what I'm saying? And there seems to be like it's a cockiness. It's a level of cockiness that we have to rid ourselves from. Like, I still like. Every day I fight my fucking ego. Don't get it twisted because I speak confidently about myself. I'm not going to sit here and shit on myself, but I'm not going to big myself up in the areas that I don't need to be bigged up on. You know, yes, I'm a good father now and a good husband now. I'm still working on that person to fix all the shit that I dealt with in the past and the shit that I did in the past. I can't even keep this person who he is without accepting that motherfucker that was in the past. Because once I embrace that shit, then I can face that shit and then I can fix that shit. But if I don't embrace who the fuck I was, I'm not going to get nowhere moving forward. I'm always going to have an anchor that I'm dragging. And I'm not trying to drag no more fucking anchors. So people got to wake up, man, and just face the fact that realistically, a lot of the people I see screaming no mask and all this other shit, I see that y'all are afraid.
Mm-hmm.
Seriously, I see that you're afraid to accept that this is even something that could be real, that can be an inconvenience to your lifestyle. I mean, think about it, bro. Just think about it. I see people posting it's going to be health risk from wearing a mask and all this other shit. I'm like, slow down for a second. I haven't seen that on any credible scientific journals or anything. I've only heard that from people. The internet will conjure up some shit and people will eat it as its facts. Okay? Now, I will say this. We've been saying this from the jump. Yes, there are certain kinds of masks that are called respirators.
Mm-hmm.
What it happens is it rebreathes fresh air into your mask. Yes, some masks that you're wearing and you're breathing out, you are breathing in more of what you were breathing out than what you were breathing in some cases. Yes, absolutely. But not enough to kill you. Now, wearing it over long periods of time could be detrimental to your health for years and all of that other shit.
Right.
But that's the point. If we don't do this shit together now, we could be looking at us wearing fucking masks for years.
Yep.
We have to do this together. How is this virus more unified than the fucking thing it's attacking?
You know, and the crazy thing is, the virus never asked for liberties. It never went for rights. It didn't protest. It just was like, this is what we do. It became a monolith for its.
You're turning a fucking pandemic into a civil rights movement?
Yeah, that's exactly it.
What?
Now, and so, well, here's the thing. When you have a virus, this is the thing. Virus and bacteria only have one thing on their mind: their survival. How they live and spread is the only thing that they think about. What we've done with freedom is we've turned what our mindset should be is how do we procreate? How do we prolong our lifespan? How do we go on for eons, right? And we took it to not just how do we, it's how do I. And it's how do I go forward in eons the way that I want. And people start to get that I instead of we and us. And I actually saw this tweet. I want to read it real quick. And it says, my grandmother who lives in a tiny Ukrainian town has to get a temperature check before being allowed into the farmer's market, and says everyone there is making fun of Americans for being selfish and entitled. And then there's a subtweet that says, congrats on being considered backwards by Ukrainian villagers. Like other countries are like, if this is what we have to do to have safety and try to have some sense of, normalcy, quote unquote, to be able to get groceries and do things and move about, then we're willing to do that to get back to normal and take care of people. And how is it that another country can look at us and realize they're being selfish and entitled? That's what that rights fight is. It's selfish and entitled. Well, but we can't.
Well, let's give them a perfect example since you had it on the list of this selfish entitled shit that can actually be detrimental to your health, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, be fucking smart, man. God damn it. I'm fucking sick of this shit. Trump fan who recorded herself refusing to wear a mask at Trader Joe's now has symptoms. How many times have we fucking read this shit? How many times? Do you not understand that this pandemic could not have came at a crazier time? Because it is at the most vulnerable time. It's election year. It's election season, dog. Everybody, the sports industry, everybody makes dollars on election season. Everybody. Yeah. And this shit is hitting everybody's bag. Dude, why do you think they give money to these people to win elections? Because they're hedging their bets on who's going to give them the most freedom when they get into office.
Exactly.
This has been the game since the beginning, bro. Like, I don't get how people keep getting caught in this trap and can't see that this pandemic has turned into the great equalizer for us to actually wake up as a society and understand the paradox that we're fucking stuck in here. This is the time to break the paradox, but instead we got people doubling down because we have created a completely selfish, mundane society that can only see its own lifespan now. We don't hear your average person talking about legacy and all this other shit. They only give a fuck about themselves. And a lot of the people I see talking about legacy are fucking pump faking. Because let me tell you one important aspect of having a legacy. One very important aspect. It's not only taking care of yourself, it's taking care of your village, because that village is going to be the thing that surrounds your legacy. That's what your legacy is going to grow within. What is the point on trying to grow a tree in fucked up soil? You got to make sure that your legacy is complete. It's the community that it's in. It's the community that you breed. It's not just your children. It's not just your riches. It's not just your money that you pass on generationally. It's the attitude, the stigma, the foresight, the sacrifice, the ability to have humility, the ability to understand that you can be wrong and grow. These are the things that we need in society to move ourselves forward. If I was E.T., I keep driving the fuck on by or keep flipping the channels and watching us, because we are the greatest reality show ever in existence of the fucking universe. Do you not understand all the shit that's going on around us in the universe? And we're sitting here debating the nuances of wearing a mask to keep ourselves safe. Right. What if this was cosmic rays and niggas was like, you got to wear this, you got to open this umbrella to keep yourself from getting the cosmic rays from impaling you? It's like, no. I think you're wrong. You're wrong. I think you're like, what is the problem with you being wrong? Right. Here's the difference. I have no issue with being wrong, but the one thing is that I'll be okay with is I was wrong, but I played it safe.
Exactly. Yep.
I was wrong. Cool. Whatever, guys. Wrong. Shouldn't have worn the mask, but I did. And I didn't catch shit. Now, you got a person like this who's like, I know what I'm talking about. Yada, 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 yada. Yada, yada, yada. Now you got fucking symptoms. Please watch this shit.
I'm gonna wait. Got it.
Jesse? Can you please don't record me? I'm gonna ask you nicely. You're not allowed to record me.
You know what? Yeah, I'm in a public space. I can record you.
Private business.
I'm in a public space.
Yes. Our number is 310-544-1727. She's actually recording me right now, making me very uncomfortable.
Well, I'm uncomfortable wearing a mask.
My lady, I don't know, about 60. She's wearing a red dress.
I'm in a red shirt and red pants. You can't miss me.
I have.
So they're literally calling the police on me because I am not putting this mask on.
Why aren't you wearing the mask?
It's unhealthy for me. I don't want to breathe my own CO2. There's many researchers. No, I'm not going to do that. There's many researchers. No, I'm not, because you know what? Because they're bogus rules. I'm not trying to give you a hard time. I'm just saying, no, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
All right, hold on. So let's stop. Let's pause, everybody. Now, y'all just heard her say that there's many researchers that say breathing in her own CO2 will cause an effect detrimental to her health, right? But she couldn't tell you what. She's not going to go there. You know why? Because surgeons have been wearing this shit daily for fucking years, separating Siamese twins and shit. Do you see any of these niggas dying from lung capacity issues? You're being asked to wear the shit while you go out shopping. That guy has to wear it the whole fucking shift. Exactly. This guy's got to wear it the whole shift. Don't you think he should probably be making that argument and not your goofy ass that's going to get some fucking shit from Trader Joe's? Like, what the fuck is going on here? You can't wear a mask for the 30, 45 minutes you'll be in the store, hour max if you're my wife, because it's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't do that. You can't do that. You can't. No, you can. You just won't because people, I've been trying to tell you forever, there are dicks everywhere. We are in the world, in a nation abundant of dicks everywhere.
Straight
and I'm not gendered. Shut up. I'm speaking it in the fucking term. You know what I'm talking about.
Right.
Dickheads.
Yep.
They're everywhere. This lady is being a dickhead. She's being a dickhead and she's enjoying being a dickhead. You have to understand that there's people in our society that thrive on that. What we're seeing is real life trolls. Not on the internet, but going outside. Like, I'm not going to wear this mask. Real life trolls.
Because they know they can get it. They can get the reaction.
I've seen a few of them while I've been out shopping, right? But here's what I will say about this, right? Fucker, I got my mask on. They got their mask on. Cool, whatever, dog. You want to be dumb? I'm trying to get you to follow the guidelines of the law. I saw a guy in Target the other day. He gave me that look. He was giving everybody that look because he walked in the store with the mask on, but then he took it off and was walking around without it on, right? Whatever, bro. Whatever, bro. Catch that shit, bro. That's all that. Like, you don't even understand the math of what's going on here. Right. This person is trying to help you protect you. It's not even about protecting everybody else who's in the store complying with a mask on, dickhead. It's you that's at risk. You who wants to come into the store and be the only person to not protect yourself and then get fucked up in the game. Well, let's keep this video going a little bit. It's 22 minutes. We're not going to watch the whole thing, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. There's so much research that says that we actually are in danger of having this mask. I'm breathing my own CO2. Do you understand that? No, I'm not endangering you because I'm a healthy person. I'm a healthy person. We're 6 feet apart. Oh, gosh. Are you kidding me here?
I'm not here to question what you believe.
Yeah. Okay. Well, all I know. Okay. I've already, you know what? I actually told him to, and I gave him my card, and they said, no, you told him not to ring him up. He's worn the mask.
I don't know what's going on.
Okay. Yes, you do. No, I'm not endangering your crew because I'm a healthy human being. Okay. No, I do believe it. Are you seriously going to question any person? I mean, really, let's get rational about this in the United States. We're in America here.
Is it America?
It's America making the rule. This shit didn't come from the UK or China was like, hey, we're mandating America. It's America.
Yeah.
It's America.
No, here's my question.
I can't listen to any more of that.
Yo, this is where it gets interesting to me. She keeps repeating the whole CO2 thing. She keeps doing that. And I'm like, but you're not telling him what the time frame is, what the percentage has to be, or anything that would give you an actual measurement or meter. And also, you want to talk about being a healthy person. He doesn't know that. No one in there knows how healthy you are or aren't.
Like, bitch, you can walk in with a shirt that says, I'm healthy. I don't believe you.
Right. It could be a straight line. Well, and think about this. If you get a bloody nose in a store, they treat that as a biohazard. You could be the healthiest person in the world. They clean it up as if you had AIDS. Every single person gets cleaned up as if they had AIDS or some other blood transmitted disease. So it's not personal. She's making it personal.
Yeah, she is. And that's the problem. Everybody like, bro, this shit is out of hand. You know, when she said I'm in a public space, I'm like, you're in a private establishment.
Like,
what the fuck? Like, you're not at the park, man. Like, what are you talking about right now? Like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? What the fuck are you talking about? Yo, don't get me started, bro. Okay. Now, look. A woman who went viral for recording herself refusing to wear a face mask at Trader Joe's last week reveals she's now experiencing a sore throat and lymph nodes. Now, that doesn't say that she definitely has COVID, but guess what, nigga? Guess what? You got something, and it might be COVID.
I thought healthy people didn't get sick. That's what her whole claim was. She's healthy and she won't get sick.
Immune systems. Oh man, I don't want to breathe my own CO2. There's many researchers who insisted they're bogus rules. It's ridiculous. There's so much research that says we are actually. I don't understand. Yo, I don't get it because again, surgeons wear masks, all that shit every single day. I was on end doing overnight surgeries, several surgeries. I mean, you name it. Surgeons have been wearing these masks for fucking ever. I have yet to see a surgeon drop from their CO2. I just haven't seen it, bro. Like, you gotta prove this shit. You gotta understand that there's people out here that know that you are a dickhead and are gonna feed you more dickhead information to make you be like this in public. Like, where do you not have the sense of everybody else in that establishment? Where it's only about you. If you have a legitimate medical reason why you cannot wear a mask, all the power to you.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll even argue with you, in fact, that, oh, it's an issue of air restriction. Okay, get a respirator.
Mm-hmm.
You're getting cleaner air than you were getting walking around.
Yep.
It's filtered air. It's the fucking Brita of mask, okay? Like,
now, what I want to talk about is the fact that you talked about health issues. If you got health issues and stuff like that, then fine. That's okay. And you don't have to explain that to anyone. You can just say it. The fact is that she didn't just leave it at that. She went and actually went beyond that to just say, no, I'm just not wearing it because I want to be a dick. That's literally what I heard come out of her mouth. That's not what she said, but that's what I heard. She said, see, I didn't want to breathe in my own CO2. She didn't say health condition. She didn't say I'm claustrophobic. She didn't say, like, if you're going to explain to excuse yourself, then use that. I respect her honesty, but that just means you're literally being an asshole.
Here we go. Yesterday, I let you guys know that I had a sore throat and it was feeling like it was going into my lymph nodes. Okay, she's self-diagnosing. All right. And the reason I posted it is because I knew I had zero fear that I was a statistic that I will be a statistic on the COVID-19. You said you knew that you had zero fear, right? Right. Peter's declared, I'm not saying I might not get it. I might get it. Wait. What the fuck are you talking about? I mean, anyone could get it, right? I mean, it's like the flu. I've had the flu many times in my life, but I've survived it. It's not the flu. And one more time, for people that just want basic math, if the flu kills up to 60,000 plus people a year, you're telling me you are okay with something else that adds to that body count, not diminishes it, adds to it. Let's say it's just effective as killing as the flu, and it kills another 60,000 plus people. That's 120,000 people a year. I mean, I don't want nothing that's adding to the count. Again, I told you, there's people fucking choking on ballpoint pens. So I'm gonna tell my kid, don't chew that shit, because I ain't trying to add to the count. You understand what I'm saying? Doesn't mean we can't be preventative about shit. So again, we're not geniuses, but goddamn, there's something called, and you know what's even crazier?
What's up?
The self-preservation mechanism in a lot of ways is selfish, right? But it's actually great to have right now because these people don't even lack the self-preservation mechanism.
Mm-hmm.
It's not about self-preservation. It's about ego. It's about tripping on an ego, not keeping yourself safe, actually. So you're telling me you wearing a mask for 45 minutes max while you're shopping inside Trader Joe's is more at risk than catching the COVID.
Well, and the thing is, if it is, then you must be more unhealthy than you know of, because that 45 minutes in that mask, and even if you breathe in a little bit more CO2 than you actually expel, shouldn't be a detriment to your health.
You know what's amazing to me too about this concept of people thinking that they're healthy? You go to a doctor and you get a basic ass physical, right? How many times did it take for something to happen for people to understand they had underlying conditions? People usually find out about the underlying conditions well beyond taking a physical, jackass. Exactly. You usually get a symptom of something, and now they have to check deeper than the physical, do your blood work, et cetera, et cetera. Right. Even when you get standard blood work at the hospital, it's standard blood work. They're not checking you for the most wild shit that's not common to your area and shit, right? Exactly. So you don't know actually how healthy you are. You have people that think they live healthy, quote unquote, lifestyles, run every day, eat their fucking plant-based whatever, right? And then these motherfuckers end up with cancer just the same.
Yep.
You're not, listen, man, this idea that, okay, yes, you can add some miles to the speedometer, but the car's going to shit the bed eventually. Right. All of them. All of us.
100% of humans die. I don't know if people knew that.
Unless you want some vampire shit.
Vampire in Brooklyn. I call BS on being claustrophobic too. I'm claustrophobic, and when I wear a mask, my claustrophobia sets off my heart condition, and yet I wear the mask when I'm out. It literally physically hurts, but I know it's smart to do so I do it. There you go.
And again, it's just being and that's a great point. And again, you are stating a medical condition. So now it's on you to make that choice based on your medical condition. You have a proven medical condition. This motherfucker's talking about I'm healthy, but I don't want to breathe the CO2. What the fuck? So you're not breathing in. So wait, let me get this straight. You're breathing out the CO2. You're not breathing in any more fresh oxygen through that mask. It's just all CO2 once you put the mask on, right? What the fuck is going on, bro?
It's like a
what is
a non-porous
on?
surface, and she's Darth Vader in it.
Yo, and this is what happens when we had a society that had pushed people to think of like jobs and success and knowledge a certain way, only in their certain avenues. You got people out here who are like great salesmen, like the Barstool Sports guy, right? This guy's been making arguments all the time, arguing against Fauci. I hear you, bro. I hear you. But you're a fucking sports gambling guy. What the fuck are you talking about?
You're just playing odds.
You're just exactly. And odds that you can play because you got the money to insulate yourself if it really was that bad. Everybody don't got that fucking luxury. You ever notice the common theme with a lot of the people that's bitching about these masks and shit? They seem to have a certain luxury to be able to play the game.
And if you peep, and that's the other thing, I kind of want to dive into her video that she made when she started experiencing symptoms, because she says that she's had like 20 years of healthy living, yet she didn't know about something as simple as elderberry.
Hold on, let me pull that up. Let me see if I can pull that back up.
She didn't know how many vitamin C she was supposed to be taking daily. Simple things that most people that are really into health would know about themselves. And then also, like you said, certain people that are like that, have a certain lifestyle. Look at her backyard and where she's living. By the way, entitled Karen.
Where is that video?
It's right, right there.
Yeah.
The health update.
Yeah. Oh, content unavailable.
No, right. Can you get the video right below it? Is that
one? Nah, it doesn't play.
Oh, okay. Well, so I'll go through the video real
What's
quick.
interesting is usually that means that you pulled it down.
Yep.
Now, here's the crazy part. Here's the even crazier part. Okay, fine. You're gonna take a stance, but stand all the way on that shit. Don't get crazy when the internet mob comes out and be like, yo, what are you doing? I'm gonna delete the video now. No, stand all the way on your shit, or you never was for that shit to begin with, which proves our point that you're just being a dick.
Right. Well,
you're being a dick.
It might be she actually got it.
Yeah, you're being a dick with no balls, no gonads.
Castration.
Straight castration. What's wrong with you motherfuckers, bro? Stop.
Oh,
stop. Man. Unless you have a legit medical reason to not wear a mask. Just wear the fucking mask. You're going in and out. Yo, do you understand? You don't have to wear the mask walking down the street. You have to wear it in places where people can contaminate each other, where cross-contamination is most high. I go to the park with my daughter. Yeah, I keep the mask with us, but I'm not making her wear the mask through the park.
Right.
When I could just tell somebody to back the fuck up and carry a slingshot, get David Goliath on these motherfuckers if they get too close. Like, it's very simple. It's very simple. Right now we're in a situation of time and place.
Right.
And there's a time and place for a mask, and there's a time and place not to have a mask. It's just that simple.
Right.
And it's just called common decency, son. Because again, we're not getting anywhere. We're not getting any progress with this shit because now, again, we are in the middle of an election season. So reopening is not more about health than it is about getting the economy somewhat back to where it was so you can look good in the race to try to win, because you're going to have the other side trying to shit on you about the economy.
That's it.
It's like either you only consume this information or you comprehend this information. There's two levels to this shit. You can consume it. Cool. You're a consumer. That's why they call you consumers. Because you just eat the burgers and don't give a fuck about what it's doing to your arteries. Because you just eat the vegan shit and don't even know if it's actually fucking vegan.
Right. They could be lying.
They could be lying to you, nigga. Like, you read a package and just, it's good.
Or it's not. It's bad.
It's bad. Do some homework. Most of this shit you can test yourself if you just really want. If you're really committed to it, you can test it yourself. People that tell me about different water types, you can buy a fucking kit and test that water yourself. It's no problem.
Absolutely
no problem. No problem. Then you're actually, when you're speaking to people about it, you're not regurgitating something that you think might be true, but you're actually regurgitating. You're saying something that you've studied yourself to be true and can teach somebody else how to do it.
Right.
But we got to get more savvy about what the fuck's going on here with this information. This is an election game right now. This is an election and money game versus health right now in our country, in a first world country. Like, come on, man.
And the first clue to me was the fact that this had to be politicized. It had to be. If you believe in shutting down, then you're a Democrat. If you believe in opening up, then you're a Republican. Why? Why does it have to instantly be a party line decision of what the nation should do? Why can't it just be, this is the best decision for the nation? I don't care who you are. That's when I knew it was that election game tapping in.
Because it's over, bro. It's over. This is the fall. This is if it's the beginning or the middle or somewhere, it's somewhere in the fall of an empire.
Mm-hmm.
Because when the people always determine it.
Right.
And we're at a place where the people do not confer on anything right now.
Nope.
It's just fucked up. It's like, I can like cheese. Well, do you like white cheese? Do you like goat cheese? Do you like yellow cheese? What kind of cheese? Why do you like produce? Why do you like produce? Because I like produce, nigga. Drink your almond milk, nigga.
Leave me alone.
Leave me the fuck alone. Drink your nut milk. Leave me alone.
Nut milk.
You understand the fuck I'm saying? Y'all always be talking about the government infringing on people's rights. It's you. It's you that's constantly infringing on each other's rights.
Have we gotten to a point where options are detrimental to our progress?
Listen, man. I don't know when it was. Maybe it was a few years ago, but I realized, I hate this. I'm gonna say it's blasphemous, but to a degree, this democracy shit is fucking us up.
Yep.
You know, when the forefathers wrote this shit, they didn't plan on having the internet or Facebook.
Nope.
They just didn't. You know what I'm saying? There was a limit to how far a voice could even go.
Yep.
So for you to have freedom of speech, well, that shit was in your locality. Now,
right,
it's at the click of a button, and you can fucking convince other people to be as selfish as you are.
And they had village idiots back then, but again, like you said, it was in their locality, and they just knew. They're like, oh, that's Frank. He's just
he's just a little tap. You know what I'm saying?
But
Frank's
then
a little off.
But then Frank found other tap people with the internet, and now he got a band of Franks.
Now they got a group, nigga. They got fucking Facebook groups. The forefathers did not bank on niggas having Facebook groups where you can build numbers on people saying birds ain't real, nigga.
Right. Yo, pigeons don't exist. You ever seen a baby pigeon?
Ever. Okay? There's an ice wall, people. There's an ice wall.
Yeah.
How did this happen? Because this is information is a double-edged sword like anything else.
Mm-hmm.
Too much of anything is bad for you, fam.
Right.
You can OD on any fucking thing.
You can OD on water.
Oxygen. You can breathe too pure oxygen and suffocate.
Yep.
Like, what the fuck is wrong with people that they can't see this basic ass algorithmic shit? Like, you can't see it. You can't fight. Yo, I used to be in it. You want to know what the comparison I make to this is? My hood mentality. At some point, I had to look and be like, Morpheus, this shit is a simulation. My whole entire lifestyle of being a womanizer, playing the game, killing my own brothers and talking about I stand for my brothers.
Right.
What the fuck is that?
Right.
Then when people brought it up to us, I was like, but white people kill white people. What the fuck is that?
Right.
What is that? That's not creating our own black excellence.
Mm-mm. That's like falling into the gangster cycle, the mafia cycle. And
exactly.
That.
I just
had to do it.
Yeah, I just had to understand at some point this shit is an illusion.
And it's hard to fight the programming though.
Oh, what the nigga? Are you kidding me?
And that's
bro. Hard. I was in Target and I was looking at this dude and he's sitting there smiling, walking around without his mask. And it was hard for me just not to be the hood me and just hit him for everybody. Hit him for everybody in here. I'm like, I might catch COVID punching this nigga, but it'll be worth it. No, it wouldn't. See, that was the whole mentality. It wouldn't. I said, I got a mask on. I'm respirated up. Everybody else got a mask on. He's the only dickhead. Fuck it. He's the only one at risk. Let him be at risk. Let him. This is where I'm at with this shit. Reopen. Fine. Mm-hmm. But we should all be wanting to wear masks when we're inside or doing what we got to do when we're inside, right?
Right.
And if a person chooses not to, cool. As long as you wear yours and take your precaution.
Right. And don't be rude to other people for their decisions. That's the other thing. Don't be rude. If you see someone wearing a mask, you think that's stupid, why be rude to them? They're not doing anything to you. If you see someone without a mask, they're being socially inconsiderate, but they're not doing anything to you. And as long as you have your precautions locked down, you're mitigating that risk to some degree.
Bro.
They're not helping you do it, but you're doing it.
Bro, I can't understand. Like, again, once I broke out of that cycle, and I still fight it now, bro, like all the time, I stopped caring about what other people want to do with their lives, bro. When I was like a homophobic dude, fucking, fuck all white people, it was fuck all white people at one point. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
Even the ones that was helping me, I didn't believe that it was real. I just thought, like, yo, you on some like Blind Side Disney movie type shit right now. And you see something to come up off on me. Not instead of me understanding that some of these cases was just people saw a potential for me to come up and want to do what people in power should do, which is relinquish some to you so you can gain your own.
Right.
It took me a long time to detox, and I do admit that now that I've been out of that way of thinking, it's hard for me to allow other people that learning curve, especially once I kind of plug you in with the info. Mm-hmm. When I look at my brothers out here who's still in the hood, and I be like, bro, look, you can do this and end up with, like, niggas know the formula.
Right.
It's like niggas go into the lifestyle knowing the formula. When niggas say, is 6ix9ine crazy? He's crazy because he signed up for that lifestyle, but it's crazy that there's even that kind of lifestyle.
Right.
Let's talk about that.
Right. The fact that exists.
That nigga's a rat. Cool. But what about the fact that you want niggas to sign up for a lifestyle when niggas can kill your mama and you can't do shit?
Right.
Fuck out of here, bro. When niggas can kill your child and you can't say nothing because you're repping a flag that don't mean that's not even representing what it originated as. People gotta wake the fuck up, man. It's time to wake the fuck up. If you're a racist white, get the fuck out of the playground, bro. You stuck in the sandbars. Get the fuck out of the playground. If you're a nigga in the hood that thinks it's cool to just be shooting up brothers that look like you, get the fuck out of the playground. We don't need no more of this shit, bro. If you're a nigga who thinks women can't be great and all this other shit, get the fuck out of the playground. Can we argue some nuances when it comes to certain things? Like, do I think women should be fighting men in MMA and shit like that? Absolutely not. And why? I'm not speaking on my opinion. I'm speaking on science.
Right.
Now, if you want to argue with scientists, go do that, nigga. But when you talk to me, I'm going to say, hey, this scientist, these metrics show that men and women should not be in combat sports fighting each other. Is there a propensity for one woman or two women or X amount of women to make a leap and beat some dude's asses? Absolutely. But the numbers, the probability shows the other way around. I'm not knocking it. Some shit is not being sexist. Some shit is being protective. Some shit is being smart. Some shit is being feasible.
Yep.
You understand what I'm saying? If I was like, yo, let's hold a gender neutral slap contest tomorrow. And fucking Nick Caswell shows up.
Oh man.
What the fuck are y'all talking about?
I don't want to slap that. I don't want to do a slap match with him.
No, the chick wearing gloves and no mask at the store set me off. Wearing gloves and no mask at the store, I had to walk away. Was like, what the fuck? So here's the thing. Here's the thing with the gloves and masks, right? So like, I started out with the gloves all the time, right? Mm-hmm. So again, I sat down. I said, all right, let me actually break this down. Is the gloves actually more beneficial to wear or not? And I realized they're not as beneficial to wear, but it's way more beneficial to wear your mask than it is your gloves. But the only time that argument is true is if you're willing to carry sanitizer and clean your fucking hands. Yep. Even if you got bottled water in the car and some hand soap, you can go to your car, pop your trunk, wash your hands, That's actually more beneficial. Because I can immediately take care of what's on my hands right now. Now, I could sanitize the gloves, but then the gloves started getting so scarce, I had to make a decision to say, I got to leave gloves for my wife.
Yep.
For anytime she's got to do anything. So I'm going to go out here with these hands, my mask on for sure. And I'm going to sanitize my hands before I touch my mask, then sanitize my mask and sanitize my hands. Nigga, what you think? What you think?
Yeah.
What you think? Y'all think this shit a game. Y'all think this shit a game. Bang, bang, bang. All right.
And I'm in
playing
my
out here. We in the office like, hold on.
get a little before I step out.
All right, we ain't playing no games in here. You know what I'm saying? So eventually, I did realize that I could risk a certain level of not wearing gloves. Just making sure that I sanitize my hands all the time. I have the hand sanitizer on me too. That's right. We got everybody strapped up with some hand sanitizer. We don't need no Second Amendment right for that shit. That shit is in the holster all times. All right. Don't get pulled out on. You know what I'm saying? Like, exactly. Like, yo, you ain't wearing no mask in here. Hold on. Squirt niggas and run. Squirt. Do a squirt by on these assholes.
You good now?
Yeah, for real. So, talking about all these biases and cognitive, biases. I want to bring up that article that you had there talking about 11 cognitive biases that influence political outcomes. Let me just check something real quick. Boom, boom. Yes, let's just pull this one up real quick because that's pretty interesting. It ties in pretty well with what's going on here. All right. So, 11 cognitive biases that influence political outcomes. Let me zoom this out a little bit.
And now, what I want to point out here is, it's focusing on political stuff,
but this is true in all aspects.
It's true in all aspects.
Yep.
So the 3 basic ones that most people know about are confirmation bias, coverage bias, and concision bias, right? So confirmation bias is simply looking for something that affirms what you already believe. We talked about that a little bit earlier in the show, right? You believe in science only if it says what you believe. All right. Coverage bias is a little bit different. So the and I can't read it from here.
So it's the extent of which different issues are reported on and discussed.
So that is just pretty much what you're finding what you're finding information or what's being reported on. So you can't actually have a neutral feeling if I'm only getting reports. Let's say that ducks are the devil, and that's all that I'm getting. Ducks are the devil, and no one is ever gonna say, well, ducks are actually great creatures. Well, due to reading ducks are the devil so much, I'm going to start to believe ducks are the devil. I want to compare that to something that happened in real time. Historically speaking, when blacks committed crimes, they were shown criminal far more than absolved of the crime. So therefore, in coverage, in the news cycle, blacks became biased as criminal due to that being done through media. All right. That is a real life example. You can go look that up. All right. And so that's how that affects what people think and how they choose their political alignment. So if I only see Trump is great, and that's algorithms actually help with that coverage bias. So if you look for one article that says Trump is great, then they're going to start showing you other articles that show you Trump is great. You want to go ahead and read the next one?
So the concision bias, selectively focusing on information, losing nuance.
So when you lose nuance, that means you lose context. So you can say that if you have a child and they knock over the milk, your child knocked over the milk. But if you don't care why, and you only punish them for knocking over the milk, you might miss the fact that they knocked over the milk because a bully pushed them into the table. And so now you would need to go and address the bully. But if you leave the context out, you would only say they knocked over the milk and they didn't clean it up, and now I have to punish them. So that's what you have to also focus on. Is it's not just what happened, it's oftentimes the context within what happened. Why did it happen? Was something going on? Whatever the case is, and then picking out those pieces and putting together the more complete puzzle to say, okay, well, now this would be the most appropriate action to take, or whatever the case is. Authority bias.
So that's one, this is one that we see a lot going on right now, and people are trying to expound on other people because they say it comes from authoritative figures. But people have to understand the difference between what you consider authority. See, this is what I'm talking about when people gave titles that aren't deserving, like social influencer. Get the fuck out of here, bro. You're just a nigga with an Instagram account. Get the fuck out of here, bro. You're not an authoritative figure. Or this idea of public figure. Well, what do you do for the public to be a figure in it? Because if your profile is all that it says is that you're a public figure, that doesn't make you a public figure, asshole. So anyway, authority biases were more likely to trust and be influenced by ideas that come from authority figures. Our CEO says the state might tax disposable cups. Hey, I told you that last week and you said it would never happen.
So again, just placing placing authority on people because of titles or anything that you see versus actual, I guess, activity or actions, right? My favorite one is the Dunning-Kruger effect, though.
The less you know, the more confident you are. Example, I don't see why we can't just print more money to pay down the debt. Well, you don't know shit about inflation and other shit like that. You're not looking for information.
Federal Reserve, gold backing. You don't know anything about it. You're just like, just print more. It's paper.
That's actually a lot of what we're going through right now. It's that, I'm going to call that shit the Freddy Krueger effect. Because niggas, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's actually a lot of what's going on. You see, I'm going to put my mouse on this shit. Can you see my mouse on there? Right there, motherfuckers. That's a lot of what's going on. The less you know, the more confident you are. Example, I don't see why we can't just print more money to pay down the debt. Because you have no financial literacy whatsoever to understand how this shit works.
Don't.
Of course. Availability cascade. An idea accumulates more credibility as it spreads. Oh, so here we go. This is where the CO2 is detrimental to your health, even though you have surgeons wearing masks every fucking day to help people, to save people's lives. I've heard from a bunch of people that he's going to raise taxes. There must be some truth to it.
Just because you heard it from a bunch of people.
Okay, guys, that's another one that's going on out here a lot. You know what I'm saying? And it's funny because, like, even the authority one, you can see that that's happening too. You know what I mean? So
absolutely.
He's
and some of these are compiled together.
Absolutely.
Too. So you got to think about that. Like if you take, for instance, Dr. Fauci or Trump, they're on either sides of the coin, but because they're authority figures, and then they have multiple people spreading their message, now that becomes even more credible.
It goes back to what I'm talking about, though. Authority of what?
Right.
Of what matters. You know, people counting celebrities as authority figures now.
Yep.
Sit your punk ass down. You just act in movies. I don't even know who the fuck you are. I'm in love with a character. I don't know who the fuck you are. Then we be all shocked when we find out these niggas is pervs and shit. Why? Because you're stupid. Right. You believe the character role that they're playing. You're like, not Spider-Man, not Spider-Man. Do you mean the comic character? You mean Peter Parker, nigga, the fictional character?
He wasn't real.
What's wrong with you, you fucking dunce cap? Anyway, you know what I'm saying? Again, do not take anything I'm saying as me being Einstein. The one thing about me is that I embrace the shit that I'm not smart at, but I will definitely point out the ignorance of shit that just doesn't make any sense. Because I'm not that fucking bright to be sitting having to point it out to people around me who have college degrees. And then you know what happens to the people who have degrees? There's a level of cognitive dissonance that is in those kind of people that that my degree means I don't have to learn shit else. What? I've learned everything. Nigga, you got a screen printing degree. What the fuck are you talking about?
The minute you learned it, it was outdated.
Exactly. Like evolution's moving, baby. You got to keep learning as you go. So there's people who become They get in these positions, then these positions start passing them by. Think about it as like the coal miners, right? They're teaching the coal miners the code theory. That's almost fucking impossible because the only way it is possible is if that coal miner in their personal life has taken it upon themselves to learn something about technology. Right. But if they're not tech savvy at all and they're in their 40s and 50s and you're trying to teach them the code, it's not impossible, but it is improbable.
Yep.
That's all it is. And we gotta be realistic, dog. We gotta be realistic about shit. Yo, I love competitive fighting. I sit here all the time and I watch a UFC match and I'm like, I'll fuck them up. Then I go downstairs in the basement, I work out for an hour or so, like, I'll get fucked up.
He's like, I might have been a little tired round 2.
I still take the chance, but at least I'm going in now knowing, nigga, round 2 and the 5, like, honestly, I like the way the UFC's set up, but 5-minute rounds, I don't know, son. That 25 minutes, I might tank at 15. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's it. The max you're getting out of me is 15 at this point. Now, 15 in the street fight, fantastic. So still that mentality is like, I'll fuck you up.
Yep.
But this nigga over here, John Jones, nah, nigga. I'm a chill, bro. I'm 35. I'm a chill. You know what I'm saying? So again, that's accepting some of my own biases. That when I'm watching something and I know I can do a move, that doesn't mean I can do a move to the precision or level that this person is doing it. The expertise, the technicalities, the small little nuances of things that matter. People thinking like, you know, it happens all the time. You see it all the time, bro. I love the videos that they put out when it was like somebody doing this versus how I do it in real life. You know what I mean? Like when couples are balancing each other. Like, do you know how many times they practice that shit and that chick probably bust their head off the fucking grass to get that shit right? But you're not willing to take the losses enough times to get that W, and you just think you're gonna step into the shit. Which happens. Some people are naturally gifted at something. Yeah. That again, this is all a part of probability. You know what I'm saying? So it happens, but is it gonna be you? It could be. It could be, but the only way you're gonna know is by trying and not talking about it. So let's get into the next one, the halo effect. This is our overall impression of a person influences how we feel and think about his or her character. I think she's too nice to be a good commander-in-chief. See, I want to give y'all a better example. So it's like the people who says, forget the commander-in-chief part.
Yep.
It's like, wow, she did what? But she seems so nice. Wow, he did what? But
I didn't know my neighbor was a mass murderer.
Yeah, like Chuck was always so pleasant.
He always gave me a burger off the grill.
Yeah, like Chuck was a fucking serial killer. Like, bro, just assume you don't know shit.
Yep.
Like, I can meet somebody 1,000,000 times. If somebody asked me to vouch for their character 100%, I would start my statement with, I can only vouch for what I've experienced. I can't say nothing else beyond that. Right. I don't know what these people do in their personal lives. I don't know if these people fuck goats. Like, that's not my fucking, I'm not there. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not Big Brother. I don't got cameras following these people 24/7. So I really can't vouch for anyone 1,000% or 100%. Right. I can't vouch for myself 100% because I don't know if I'm gonna punch your ass in the head sometimes. You know what I'm saying? So, like, how am I gonna vouch for somebody else 100% of the time? I'm telling you, yo, see, my brain just did it again. I'm having one of the moments. I'm fucking myself up, people, because I keep challenging myself. Again, just don't assume because people the character that they show you or the characteristics that you see on face value. I see it all the time when people find out like women are the violent ones in the relationship, or you know, that this guy who seems like the perfect prototypical handsome guy is a jerk. You know what I'm saying? Right. Or the guy who's ugly as shit is cocky as fuck, or you know what I'm saying? Like, you see it all the time. So just err on the side that you only know what you experience, but nothing beyond that. And that'll leave that iffy little gray area for you to be like, it's possible. Possible that niggas are psycho. I don't know. Declinism. We romanticize the past and believe that society and institutions are in decline.
So pretty much just saying, yo, what I experienced before was as good as it was gonna get, and everything after that is worse.
Yep.
That
we all do that. We all do that.
We all romantic. I mean, honestly, and this might be touchy for a lot of people, but I want to say New Bedford has overall a declinism mentality.
Say it again.
I'm just gonna say it. New Bedford's principality of existence is almost based on declinism, always hearkening back to when we were number one, when we were lighting the world, when we were That's all great. Those are all great things. Fantastic. And I respect all of them.
Absolutely.
And I love that legacy. I love that that's a part of the history, but it's a part of the history.
That's it.
It's not the present. And so what we have to do is we have to focus on what is going to be better for us moving forward. We can't fear technology just because we're a fishing community.
Yeah.
That's what we were.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's like, bro, declinism definitely defines a lot of the shit I deal with out here. You know what I'm saying? It's like so in love with the past that you can't even accept that the future's taking place and that we're moving in a different place. You know what I'm saying? Like, we have to move forward. You understand what I'm saying? It's like, okay, let me give another example of declinism. Hip hop is like that a lot. Like, nothing will ever be 90s hip hop. Son, shut the fuck up. Okay? I used to be like that, but that's not the truth anymore. That's not the truth, bro. Like, shit evolves. It might not be to my liking because I grew up on something different. It's like movies now. Sometimes I feel like movies are too clear. Like, this shit, I can see the fake ass CGI. Give me a little grain to mix it into some shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all just don't care. I know this shit's fake. You know what I'm saying? But that's just declinism in myself, believing that the 90s Ninja Turtles was way better than the new Ninja Turtle movie. You know what I'm saying? Like, these new Ninja Turtles are all bulky and shit. What if the kids of this generation, that's how they like it? That's how they like it, bro.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So, like, I'm not going to keep arguing these points with people or fighting these things. Like, just going to let it be what it is.
You know, a funny example, I was watching a Saturday morning cartoon thing on Facebook. And I was watching the cartoon, and I think it was Masks. Mask, the show Mask, when I was a kid, and I remember it being way better when I was a kid. And now I look at it, I'm like, yeah, no, that actually was a crappy cartoon. Like the voices didn't match up with the mouths and everything. And so, but if I sat there and were like, oh, this is the best cartoon ever, that's declinism.
Yeah,
like you have to be realistic and go, I loved it when I was young because I didn't realize that their mouths didn't sync. I didn't realize that the color grading was so horribly off, or the characters moved like robots around and they weren't smooth. Like, realize that some things have gotten better, even if some things have gotten worse. Two things can exist at one time.
Period. And yeah, that's like the duality of the universe. I'll get into that one a little bit later because NASA just brought out a report about the parallel universe that they believe they discovered, and the fact that in that parallel universe there's a doppelganger of all of us, but time runs backwards. So anyway, I don't even want, you know what I mean? I don't understand how the fuck, like, yo, don't even get me started. Don't get me started. I'm not gonna go there with y'all because that's like my nerd closet that I be in with my little fucking space rocks and shit. Don't mind me, all right?
That's where Biden's memory is hiding.
Oh shit.
We'll get there.
So let's talk about the framing effect, because the framing effect is actually this actually is pretty low on the scale, and I feel like these bottom ones should actually be a little bit higher than some of the other ones because they're using this low frequency shit at its lowest spectrum to fuck with us. So the framing effect is when we draw different conclusions based on how an idea is presented to us. Anchor A would say government increases military spending and renewed commitment to veterans, right? But Anchor B, so CNN would say A, and Fox would say amid record levels of debt, military spending balloons yet again. Everything is about how you say it and how people frame it. But then even when you say it a certain way, there's people that don't comprehend shit all the same. There's so many of us. So you're going to have different perspectives of how this shit works and how this shit's all operating. But at the end of the day, you have to be the kind of person to discern information yourself, because what's going to be good for one is never going to always be good for the other.
Right.
That's what you don't understand about decisions. I could decide tomorrow that anything. I could decide anything tomorrow. Someone's not going to be happy with it. Someone somewhere. You know what I'm saying? When we say, we want America to be the best, well, the rest of the country, the rest of the world is like, wait, what the fuck, guys? What about us? You know what I mean? So like, there's always going to be some issue with how we frame things and how people perceive them, no matter what decisions that we make. But this is extremely prevalent now because of the rate and speed in which we get this information. You can literally watch the same news channel and have it framed 7 different ways by the same source. Now, how is that showing any kind of consistency in messaging? It's to meet each individual group type, when we're getting to this next one of groupthink, to lock you in to a bubble, to keep you in your bubbles. They don't want your bubbles to converge, because that's where real knowledge exists.
Right.
And they want your bubbles to repel each other. Yes, they want your bubbles to repel. So group thinking, conforming to a widely held worldview in order to fit in and minimize conflict. I don't like the person running for Congress, but I can't really vote for the other party. My family would disown me. That's right now. That's a lot of people. That sucks.
Definitely right now. I mean, to be honest, I'll talk about this from a perspective of my niece and I. Like, she's a super feminist, which is funny, because she's also like an uncle's girl. So she'll be like that with rah with every other man in the universe. But if I'm like, hey, listen, you really need to sit down and do it like this, she's like, yes, uncle, like, I get it. So you have to realize that you have to have those challenges even within your family in order to try to come to something that will service the greater majority of people to be better for them.
See, this is why
another way to look.
I believe in aspects of feminism, but I'm not a feminist. I believe that men in certain areas are responsible for certain things, but I'm not a sexist. I just don't I don't believe in putting myself into anybody. Like, if you tell me I'm something, I literally get offended by that, because I don't want to be in any particular bubble. I want to converge with shit, and then understand, because every single thing that every bubble you can think of has good ideas and bad ideas, bro. Absolutely. None of these shits is perfect, because if it was, then we'd be already kumbaya and straight everywhere. But we're not. We're all fucked up. So I take a little bit of this. I take a little bit of that.
Some of that.
Yep. So even some, and what's interesting is that sometimes I take the thing that's hardest for me to agree with. Like, it was hard for me a long time to I understand the concept that a woman doesn't need a man for protection, right? I get that. But then sometimes I'm like, what's the scenario? What is the scenario? If you're 100 and nothing pounds, you know nothing about self-defense, you've never been in a fight in your life, and this big linebacker fucking rapist is walking up on you, and I'm a guy standing there in proximity that can help you,
right?
Should I not, or should I? Because if I do, I'm sexist. If I don't, I'm not a man. So it gets very conflicted. So you know what I decided? Fuck what everybody thinks. I'm gonna help regardless. You can call me a sexist after. You can call me a sexist after I save your ass. I don't care. Fine. Like you should have let him fuck me up. Whatever, lady. Next time I will. But today,
it's easy to do that when you're safe, huh?
yeah. You know, and that's the thing that people don't understand too. A lot of these people that be talking all this smoke are talking smoke from. They don't got no chimney. They ain't got no matches. They don't fucking smoke cigars. They've never touched a leaf of butter in their life. They don't know shit about smoke. But the internet has convinced them that they can be about this smoke, this mainstream shit, and this banter that we get into. And watching all of the smoke on TV has made people at home who are typically safe people. Literally, I've been in more serious situations on the highway with soccer moms than any fucking male I've ever dealt with. I'm like, Cindy's, fucking Karen's, fucking Keisha's, all of them. All of them across the board. I've been in more. I've literally, because I never react. I literally sit there and I look at them like, how do you think this would play out?
Right.
Like, what is wrong with you? Where's your self-preservation? Like, I get that you're upset, whatever. I don't know what the fuck they be mad at half the time. But how would you think it would play out if I react? How? Like, what happened? What the fuck happened to people just being like, I'm precautious about shit. Like, listen, soccer mom. I'm even asking how would this play out? Like, this bitch probably packing. She brave as shit right now.
And that might be the other side of it. Maybe they are packing, and
like maybe she's packing.
I know what I got.
But again, what if I'm packing? What if I go to the range more than you? What if I'm more savvy with a gun than you? What if I'm more willing to squeeze it than you are? What if you've never squeezed it in a real life situation and I have?
Right.
All of these are factors that matter. So you don't scan. You don't like, yo, bro, anytime I'm in a situation, I scan. Nigga, like I scan.
Situational awareness. That's it.
Like, where's the exit?
Yep.
The fuck are you talking about? So we got to be a little bit more savvy about how we're dealing with this shit. Groupthink is very dangerous. Because again, not only is it dangerous in the sense that when the whole group thinks one way, who tells the group when they're wrong?
Exactly.
I literally was in a meeting recently, right, with this community shit, and it was a strategic planning meeting, whatever, you know what I'm saying? And I hated to be the one in the meeting who kept highlighting the fact that why is it that white liberals keep giving people of color in their communities these labels? Why don't you ask people of color how they would like to be labeled? Instead of calling a kid at risk, why don't you ask them how you should word that?
Right.
You know, why don't you understand that words like inclusion speak seclusion to a lot of people now because of the way you've played the game?
Yep.
I get fucking, I make the room uncomfortable because I'm just honest, but I will not leave the table. And if they know that the end game is when you ask me to leave the table for actually not being like the group, because that's when it's over. That's when it's all Hail Marys for me. I'm going ham. But if you at least respect enough that I'm at the table and have empathetic ears enough to at least try to understand what I'm saying, then we can get somewhere. Because it's not necessarily about us agreeing. It's about us having the conversation to find some middle ground. And I immediately watched like inclusion get deleted out the conversation and at risk it, because that inclusion shit, I'm gonna keep it real. That inclusion shit is only for white folks to feel comfortable. Like, what are you talking about? I've never dealt with any black person ever. Person of color was like, is it inclusive?
Right.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Unless you're talking about like a cruise or something, like a buffet.
Yeah, like, oh yeah, it's all inclusive on the ship. But like, other than that, like, what the fuck are we talking about? You understand what I'm saying? Like, ask people, the people that you're trying to service and help, ask them. Talk to them. Talk to them. Don't talk at them and make labels for them and put them in different, like, people in a position of power are so great at fucking putting people in these bubbles. And it's whack. It's whack. It's honestly whack. Like, I don't like, bro, like, again, it's like saying that all gay people are the same or all, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, come on, fam. Like, come on, fam. Let's just talk to each other so we can figure out how we want. Look, the LGBT community has the same issue, right? Because the standard gays who also standard, I say standard because there's the white gay population that has taken over the entirety of it and dictates what the rest of the community is. Slow down, time out. Why don't you talk to a trans black woman or a trans black man and get their feedback on how you deal with them in their scenarios? Not just fucking use your privilege to your advantage that you keep saying you don't have.
Right.
But it becomes apparent that you have it when you're running all the shows. Let's think about this shit for a second. I have no issue with women getting in a position of power. However, I do take some precaution when majority of our programs and shit are ran by white women. Like, that's a red flag, bro. Like, what do you not understand about that? Okay, women's suffrage, I get it, But as a white woman, you have benefited from some things that a black woman could never benefit from.
Right.
That a woman of color could never benefit from. There's even levels to the women's suffrage shit based on race. So again, like this shit, we gotta be more empathetic and we gotta understand that representation at the table is most important. Most important. We just can't have a society out here that's stuck in declinism and that's ran by mostly white women.
Yep.
Like, that's not cool. And don't tell me there's not women of color. No, what happens is that women of color tend to be the ones that are willing to speak up. And that contention is not always appreciated, but they're speaking from a place of being a woman of color.
Right.
Just like us as men of color. We're not being contentious by telling you that's not cool. We're telling you it's not cool because it's not cool, bro.
Right. And then we expect there to be some type of come into Jesus moment, maybe a little bit like, okay, well, can you explain to us? Because the point is, it's okay to be wrong. That's what I want to touch on. It's okay to be wrong. It's okay to say the wrong thing. It's okay to do that when you're doing it from an earnest position of not knowing. Like when you're doing it from a true state of ignorance. Like, I didn't know that wasn't okay to say that.
So but
now that I know, tell me.
Yes. So this last section that brings us into the final one, because there's a general false consensus about what minority is in the area. The false consensus is overestimating the proportion of people who agree with an idea. So if it's only ran, if all the shots are being called, let me give you the Shannon program, for example. The Shannon program is under the umbrella of the United Way, ran by what? Another white female. Again, I got no problem with females being in positions of power, but why is it all white females? Majority. Why is it majority? Not all, majority. Why is Lee Blake an anomaly?
Right.
In New Bedford. But we're liberal, we're inclusive. Now, I'm not Eric Andrade. I don't bring it up in a hateful malice and say your system's rigged. I'm saying that maybe nobody's ever really said it to you.
Right. And then adjusted or looked at and said, damn, I wonder why that is.
And then said, hey, I can help you change that.
Right.
If there's women like my wife who exist out here and is born and raised here, why the fuck is it such a huge vacuum? And then what happens is that you lose a lot of these women of color from getting in those positions because they get burnt out.
And they go other places.
They stay here. Like, bro, Dakota Lopes is a strong-minded, smart young woman who should be at some positions of power out here. Siren, Amy Vittorino, has a massively huge empathetic heart. Do I always agree with everything that she stands? No, but what I agree with is that she has the intellect and the ability to sit at that table, grow, and become a person of color that's a representation of her people. Right. Maya, Mays, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's so many. Jama Lynn, Shakira, there's so many of them, bro. The list can go on forever and forever. Right. And then you got women like Jen DuBarros, who has a PhD, but is still isolated on an island, working on her own to establish herself out here because there is this position, this silent, the silent, and it's in it, silent, inadvertent racism is still racism. I'm not calling you an outward, overt racist. I'm saying that you have biases that we're talking about here that you don't want to address to be able to help those women of color get into position. I'm cool with all these tables being women if it's a ethnic diverse group of women.
Right.
Diversity.
Bring perspective.
Nefertiti was that bitch out here, bro. Cleopatra was that queen out here, bro. Like, I got no problem with it. The problem that I have is when the representation goes completely one way and nobody can address it. Nobody can address it. And then act like these people can't handle it. No, we can handle it, bro. You just got to be able to get out the way long enough for these people to be able to make those adjustments. But anyway, I've digressed. So, yeah. Infographic on 11 cognitive biases that influence political outcomes. But as you can see, that's actually, again, that was them trying to politicize it actually, right? And not understanding that this is cognitive biases that affect all
across
outcomes.
The board.
All race, sex, gender, fucking money, you making money, religion, everything. You know what I'm saying? Finances. If you believe that an authoritative figure is telling you can't make something, then you won't make it.
Mm-hmm.
You got to believe in yourself.
Yep.
Not what everybody says about you, bro.
Someone's right and someone's wrong when they say you can't do it. Every single time. And if you keep that in perspective, you get to start to decide who's going to be right or wrong. Is it the person saying you can't, or are you going to prove them wrong?
Absolutely. Like Renee, I'm okay with being wrong. You know why? Because that's just a part of growing and evolution. So like, I could be wrong and easily be like, my bad. And not even just leave it at my bad, but like tell you why I understand where you're coming from now. Because some people just say my bad to shut you up.
Right.
Look, perfect example. We was talking about the body image issues, right? And I was one of those people that didn't understand your heart situation. And I was like, yo, what does it take? It just takes a little bit more determination. Me and Tyson was always talking about working out. I was like, yo, we can get Renee. We can get so-and-so, my Aunt Melinda. You know what I'm saying? She's going through the same stuff. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't know that. He wasn't going to divulge that to me. It wasn't his place to do so. But when I found that out, I'm like, oh, okay. Well, all we have to do now is adjust how we're going to approach it based on your condition. You know what I'm saying? Right. I just use you as an example because you spoke up. But there's plenty of other situations.
And we know you don't mind.
That. Yeah, exactly. But there's plenty of other situations. You know what I'm saying? Like, again, like, call it what you want. I got a preference for, my wife and, who she is now. But the big girl I didn't know and I didn't understand at the time. But then I got to a point where I had to be more understanding and more aware of what that's like for someone else.
Right.
It's okay. I had to come out of my skin. Yeah, I got to come out of my skin. You know what I'm saying? Listen, Mia won't say she wrong about shit. Period. All right. I love that woman to death, but there's been plenty of times I'm just got to like, she ain't gonna say it. I'm just gonna keep moving the fuck on. Yeah. Because she's showing it, but she ain't gonna say it. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what that shit is. She's stubborn. I'm an Aries. She's stubborn as fuck. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I just move on, man. I just move on. You know what I'm saying? Because she ain't gonna say it. She starts to. I've been there with Tyson plenty of time. Like, she's showing it. It's cool. You know what I'm saying? It's cool. She ain't gonna say the shit. It's whatever. She ain't gonna. Nigga, she make funny posts about not apologizing. Yo, let me talk about like how many posts y'all can make as women, we can't make as men. We just can't do it. We'll get dogged out here. If I was like, I'll never apologize to her. You sexist motherfucker.
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
Hey, what's up, my man? Ian's in the building. All right, man. So let's see. So while we're talking about all of this stuff, go ahead. You can pick the next one.
I did want to touch on this one. That coronavirus survivors or COVID-19 survivors banned from joining the military. Obviously Memorial Day. So it seems kind of fitting to just touch on that. And just not even to go too deep into it, but just to put in a perspective of if the United States military is looking at this and saying, we don't know what it is. So for right now, we're banning people from joining who have been positively diagnosed with this. That speaks volumes for those who are like, this is about government control and they set this on us. You think that they set something on us that would decrease our military forces knowingly? So even if they did let it out, is it possible that it's now a little bit beyond what they even planned? And now we should be a little cautious. But again, when the military reacts and says we're banning this, we're stopping this because we don't understand it. That means the same way that we talked about taking the precautions. It's not a fear thing. It's we don't understand it. So let's react this way until we have more information to adequately move forward with. That's what that is. All right. That's kind of my piece.
Well, here's the thing, right? All right, so I've gotten out of conspiracy mode for a while because again, I saw the 5G is throwing the flag. So you know what I'm saying? I'm still looking like, well, what happened to the flat earthers? I seen a lot of these motherfuckers throwing the flag. I mean, there's still some out there popping, holding on to their life, but a lot of them threw in the flag. You know what I'm saying? So like, when it comes to this part, right? I actually get this though, because you have no vaccine, so you cannot contaminate your military forces. If this was something else, Ebola, nigga, you ain't signing up. You're not signing up. I can see this now. This again is situational. Once they have a vaccine, just like they inoculate you for shit when you go overseas, then they'll do that. You'll be back. You know what I'm saying? But as of right now, especially young people who want to sign up and thinking it's all cool to be outside, well, fine, you might survive it. But if you have dreams of going to the military, you can forget that shit for now. You know what I'm saying? But it makes perfect sense. It makes perfect sense if you actually think about it. You know what I'm saying? It just makes sense. It makes sense. I don't want to be dealing with anything that's going to cause detriment to my ranks. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that makes sense.
Be a liability.
Yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense. That's just common sense. I'm not even mad at that at all. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and I'm just alerting people. That's it. And I want people to think a little deeper on the COVID-19 situation and how it's affecting things that we need to maintain our freedom.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like, you're fighting for your rights, but like these people have to actually fight.
The fucking funny part is you're not really fighting for shit. Right. It's them fighting for your rights.
Exactly.
On a day like Memorial Day, you should respect the fact that you are fucking insignificant if you're not really fighting. There's people who died and fought for you to have the voice that you have, to disrespect all their hard work to keep you safe because you don't want to keep your fucking self safe. Fucking dickheads. Like, seriously. Oh, Mondays are going to be savagery, okay? Mondays is when we get back to topics, and I'm just going to let the fucking... Listen, I'm cursing like I'm a sailor, bro.
Letting it out.
Navy approved out this motherfucker. Like, people are dickheads, bro. There's fucking cemeteries lined with bodies. There's walls lined with names. There's 100,000 people in the paper who died. Debate it all you want. There's kids out here with this new shit called Kawasaki, and they're dying from cardiac arrest. They're telling you that COVID's affecting pregnancies, for God's sakes. What don't people like? What do you need? Do you need to die and be in the line and be like, that shit was real, bro? Holy shit.
Exactly. You're sitting there like talking to St. Peter, like, hey, that was real. I didn't know that was real like that.
But if I'm at the gate, nigga, I'm hitting the Mr. Burns button. You going down, fam. You going down.
Excellent.
You going, yes. Okay. You are going down. All right.
Oh, man.
Hold on. So wait a second. Let me just read this one. You are not out here putting your life on the line, maybe at risk, but not on the. Yo, on God, bro. On God, bro. You just tuned in. We talked about it earlier about everybody comparing this shit to racism. Yeah, bro. Look it up. Kawasaki's crazy, bro.
I was like, when Marion said it,
I said, why the fuck they name it Kawasaki? Like, somebody likes riding bikes or some shit.
Exactly. Like, I was like, come on.
Whatever. But look it up. It's real serious. So yeah. Again, man, these people. Excelente Smithers. So these people who be on that bullshit about like, oh, okay, you know, just fuck y'all.
Yeah. All in all,
just fuck y'all, man. Like, seriously, like, I'm not arguing with you. This is my platform. If you would like to come on here and argue with me, I'll send you a link anytime. But you know what the funniest part about all this shit is? Again, stand your ground on what you're talking about. Because every time we've invited somebody who has a different view, be willing to inbox us with some strange shit, I'm like, bro, come on the show. Come on the show. And you always scatter, bro. It's like turning on the lights in the projects, bro. Them roaches be out, nigga. Or turn on lights in the trap, the trailer park too. The niggas got wrote the shoot. Time out. Them niggas be out, fam. You understand what I'm saying? So like, don't be so bold behind in your bubble. Come converge into ours. We're not here to slander you. If you actually make a valid point, then cool. We can take that into consideration and do some more research. But most of the times I'm talking to people about this shit, they haven't done any research. When I tell motherfuckers what kind of mask I have, they be lost. So I know we're not even in the same conversation. I know we're not even there.
And speaking of research, I did want to mention this because this came up. That monkeypox has hit the UK.
Oh, fucking
And I didn't do too in-depth research on it yet, and I just got it from one news source, so I didn't want to like go too deep into it. But if you have a chance, people, go and check out monkeypox from the UK.
God.
I'm gonna do the same thing and probably come back next Monday and have a little bit more details on it and symptoms to look for and things like that. But there's something else that's in the pox family that's popped up now. You know what I mean? Like, it seems like we're getting hit with like the 7 rings of like the apocalypse or something.
Bro, I keep telling whoever touched the goddamn, whoever's playing Jumanji, stop.
Right.
Stop playing, nigga. Don't you better not roll the dice again. All right?
Like,
monkeypox, nigga.
That's just wild.
Oh, fuck. Yo, and the thing is, right, is like, this is where I worry about the information that people pay attention to and the information that they don't. You know, one thing a lot of old heads taught me is that whatever's on the front page is a lot of bullshit. You got to go deeper into the news to read it. And that goes the same for news websites. Right. So I'm always like deep diving. I don't just go for the face. A lot of people just stay on the front page and that's it. I like to deep dive and go into the science section and stuff like that and see what's going on, right? And when I deep dive, man, for years before this, we've had several warnings about a change in the virus world, and that super bugs were on the way that were not going to be stopped by the basics of the antibiotics that we have now. They've been telling us this shit for years, bro. Right. I literally remember reading an article about this the same year I met Mia. So let's say 2000. It was probably like 6 months after. So 2012. Okay. And I was reading this shit. I was reading about this shit. They didn't have a name for them. You know, they just knew that the fungus was changing, the viruses was changing, everything was evolving, and it's happened in history before. That's the part that really fucks me up with people, because if you're saying this is awesome technological, so what was the 1918 pandemic? Somebody made that shit? Like, what are you saying, bro? The same niggas is around playing the games. You know what I'm saying? What was the Black Plague? Fucking whole millennia before all of, like, what are you talking about, dog? Like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, this is what I'm talking about, people de-evolving, because you won't even accept the fact that shit changes. You know what I'm saying?
And the thing is, we haven't been alive for all the cycles of the earth.
Nah.
So we have to understand that there's going to be some things that aren't documented that happen every so often on earth that humans either weren't smart enough or evolved enough at the time to document, to say, hey, by the way, I hope you guys know that every 3,000 years, this happens. And every 100, this happens, you know, a minor version of it. But that 3,000 one, you get hit with all 7. Like, we just weren't around. So, you know, realize there's a lot of stuff that we just don't know. And we have to accept that we just don't know some things. And that's why we have the scientific method.
Well,
to try to.
Speaking of shit, people don't seem to. Speaking of shit that some people don't seem to know.
We have to be willing to say we don't know everything, and we're willing to find out.
So, speaking of shit that people don't seem to know, Biden doesn't seem to know a lot of the fucking rules. Like, I don't know if he was just chilling with the Obamas and was wilding. I don't know, like, what kind of back room. I feel like they was just like straight hood talking him in the back rooms, because he's mad comfortable, bro. This nigga's brazy, okay? He's mad comfortable, bro. So apparently Joe Biden expresses his regret over you ain't black comments. I shouldn't have been so cavalier. So if you didn't know, he was on a interview with Charlemagne the God. And hold on, let me see. Kathy just chimed in. Don't forget SARS-CoV 2003 in China and a few outbreaks here as well. Exactly, man. Like, this shit's crazy. I'm convinced we've been going on a cycle of evolution where we just evolve and come back to do the same shit. Yeah. You know what's crazy about this evolution thing is I feel like technology is the first, like, this is the first time history has repeated itself, right? But we finally have the tools to not do it. And it seems to be human nature.
Right. It's
not the technology, because, again, technology is just like a gun or anything else. It's all about who's using it. And we just got bad fucking genetics, bro. Like, we're savages. You know what I'm saying?
It's our cognitive patterning.
It really is. Let me see. Do they have the exact video up of him saying the crazy shit?
Yes. The other one is the other link is.
Hold on. That looked like some. Yeah, got you. The Daily Beast.
Yep.
Yeah, this shit's crazy, man. Biden's lost his fucking mind, man. Like, I'm telling you, bro. Like, I'm telling you what happened. Michelle and them, they was having crazy, like,
Right.
just regular
They
ass
made him
black
feel like he was
conversation
part
with
of
him.
the family.
On God, he
Like-
felt like I'm in, bro. I'm in.
Right.
Because this nigga,
He was
he
putting salt
wildin'.
on watermelon and everything. Like,
Bro, he wildin'. He's wildin', bro. He's wildin'. I don't know what the Obamas did to you, man. So let's see, man.
Yep, go down.
Let me see. Is that the original video?
They play it in that.
All right, cool. Let's check this out real quick, people. This motherfucker Biden be tripping, man.
One of these they played in the clip.
Charlemagne the God of the Breakfast Club on Power 105.1. Charlemagne, thank you so much for being here this morning.
Thank you for having me, Joy. How are you?
I'm good. So, I don't know if you were able to hear Kareem. We had a little bit of an audio problem toward the end. But, I want to, first of all, congratulate you on the interview. The interview, people are talking about that last bit of it. That's the part that went viral. But the substance of the interview was really solid. You had very blunt questions for Vice President Biden. They were about substance. They were about what you want to see for the community. Your listeners, I'm sure, give you lots and lots of feedback about what it is that they want from this man. What are people telling you that they want him to do?
Just a really major policy.
Oh no, it is the other one.
Mainly in the form of economic justice, so we can, tip the scales on some of this wealth inequality in America. I do hear a lot of people say, we also want him to have a black woman running mate, but not just any black woman running mate, one that's going to actually, get in office and care that black people benefit from her presence there. We need substance and significance over symbolism. And he's already committed to putting the black woman on the Supreme Court. So I just want him and the Democratic Party to know that it's time to give back to the black community in a very tangible way. But I can say that, the major point that I'm hearing about is just, economic justice, some form of economic justice.
So listen, hold on. Let me pause this real quick.
The apology that,
let's listen to his apology first. It's cool.
Call with black business leaders and apologized for the comment that he made at the end of your show. Let me let you listen to that.
The last thing I want to do, and I shouldn't have been such a wise guy. I shouldn't have been so cavalier in responding to what I thought was, anyway, it was, I don't take it for granted at all. And no one should have to vote for any party based on their race, their religion, their background.
So let's not be stupid here. Like, we know what he was implying. I'm gonna find the video real quick and we'll play it real quick because we know what he was implying. But bruh.
It is in the other one.
No, I got the direct one right here. We're gonna play it direct real quick.
Okay,
so let's check this out real quick, people, just so you can understand and what was going on here. Biden. Fuck, bro.
Good old, oh man, Sleepy Joe.
Oh, good old fucking Sleepy Joe.
Listen, you got to come see us when you come to New York, VP Biden.
I will.
It's a long way until November. We got more questions.
You got more questions, but I tell you, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black.
It don't have nothing to do with Trump. It has to do with the fact I want something for my community. I would love to
Take a look at my record, man. I extended the voting rights 25 years. I have a record that is second to none. The NAACP has endorsed me every time I've run. The war, I mean, come on. Take a look at the record.
Now listen. I get what he was aiming for. It was supposed to be humor, right? Because we've heard that in black crowds. We understand what that shit means.
Right.
But here's the problem. I always tell white folks, the same as if I'm in your room. Make sure that the room understands your tone. Off rip.
Right.
Because again, there's people that are completely tone deaf and all they heard was you say, if you don't vote for him, you ain't black. Now, there's a lot of black Republicans. And there's a lot of black Democrats that have been on the line feeling like, why do I vote Democrat? And then you go say that shit, bro.
And it was like, oh, so you telling me I just vote Democrat because I'm black, not because you're doing anything for me, not because you're actually pushing forward any type of economic agenda, not because you're actually giving power, not just empowering. Just
he got real comfy, Kathy, real comfy. I mean, what the fuck be wrong with these people, man? Like
oh my god,
yo, bro, like, and
you know, he made brownies one night in the White House and was looking at Barack like, hey, how do I know if it's done? Does it have to look like you? You know, he did that.
Oh shit,
he got that type of comedy in him.
Yo.
You know, he did that. He got comfortable, and I think he's just. And I don't.
Yeah, I don't know why that sounds like some shit that Michelle said to him.
Right, like
I can totally hear that because, like, you know, Michelle was a little bit quicker with the black euthanisms than Obama was. You know what I'm saying? So I could definitely see her saying, like, if you don't wear it like this, you ain't black, Joe.
Black. Exactly. You gotta have more swag than that, Joe. You ain't black.
Oh man.
So
I don't think he was. Nah. I think he was just trying to be, like you said, he got too comfortable. He was just trying to be down, man. He failed miserably at trying to be down. Like, yo, like, and you know, it's funny, like, the older the white people are, the worse they fail at that shit. I've had it happen to me and my family. Like, what this motherfucker, like, I know what you're trying to say, Grandpa, but god damn, nah.
That's not the way. Now, on a serious note, kind of, though, he talked about his record. And he talked about the NAACP endorsing him and all these different things. Like, we do realize that he hasn't yet said anything about his support of mass incarceration. He hasn't said that was a terrible error in judgment. It disproportionately affected it. Like, so if we really look at his voting record of certain things, it's not.
Bro, like, let's be serious here. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know listen, I put my post up the other day. Just because I don't like racist whites doesn't mean I don't appreciate all the good white people in my life. Exactly. But that also means those good white people got to understand, don't be having no guilt and shit. I'm not talking to you. You know what I mean? So if you're watching right now, you support I'm not talking to you. So don't take this no kind of way. You know what I'm saying? It's the same way I tell you, like, yeah, there's some niggas out here, like, for real. Like, not the hard ER, but you know what I'm saying? But the A's. Like, there's some niggas out here, bro. You know what I'm saying? And them niggas ain't gonna change. I deal with them all the time. I try. But anyway, I've digressed. Bro, give it the fuck up. All black people, just give it the fuck up. They still shoot us and use the footage to bait us into being fucking manipulated. Give it the fuck up. They even out here telling you, like, COVID's killing more of us than anybody, but not giving you the scientific reasoning why behind our diets and how we live and where we live and the quality of food, living in food deserts and shit like that. Give it the fuck up, okay? Like, seriously, your niggas is so woke, you're only counting Z's. I don't understand how that shit works, okay? Like, you're not woke, nigga. You know, like, Malcolm X was not woke. Malcolm X was an activist. He was about action. Martin Luther King was not woke. Marcus Garvey was not woke. They didn't just go online and post shit. They went and did something about it. We can't keep complaining about McDonald's getting open in our neighborhoods and we don't open a fucking smoothie shop. You didn't learn shit from the Locks. Them niggas started opening smoothie shops.
Yep.
We don't all gotta open wing stops and shit.
LeBron did too.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So, like,
LeBron's wife. Yep.
Give it the fuck up. Stop waiting. Stop sitting around and being fucking manipulated. All of us. It happens to white folks too. But for some reason, my black folks, man, we just get so caught up in the fucking. It's easy because we got the tenured history that they teach us behind our detriment in this world. But that we're not behind. We're being lied to, fam. The only thing that's behind is our understanding of the freedoms that we actually did gain from our people's sacrifices and start utilizing some action over positivism. I don't give a fuck what Biden's saying. I give no fucks what Biden's saying. I give more fucks about what we're doing to change our situation.
Right.
I don't give a fuck what any racist person has to say. You could eat the whole dick. I don't care what you have to say. I'm serious. Like, I don't give a fuck about any racist person. Like, I don't care. Unless you want to throw the hands or get busy, talk your shit, my nigga. Because I'm over here trying to build something.
Right.
Not be distracted by everything that they try to pull. Am I mad that they killed another black man jogging down the street? Of course I am.
Right.
But am I fucking surprised to the point that I'm gonna fucking just be a postivist about it? Nah, fam. I'm gonna do what I'm doing right here and talk to the people and try to open up more minds. I'm gonna do what I've been doing and being in the community, servicing all kids.
Yep.
The reason why I work with the youth is because that's where you got to start to change the next generation. I can't change a bunch of old niggas that's already stuck in their fucking ways. If I do, thank you. I appreciate it.
Right.
But I'm focused on the youth because them niggas is going to be the future senators, the future presidents, the future lawmakers, the future judges, the future Supreme Court justice. All of that. They're going to be the future. It's the same shit that they do with our hip hop. I remade the song the Box, I believe it's called, by Roddy Ricch, right? Okay. And I tell people all the time, these little kitty ass noises that they put in the songs are to fuck with your kids and you, because you still have that little resonance of a child in you. So when you hear Nyla walks around all the time, and the difference is that she hears my lyrics, so it's different because I'm talking about not being a brand new slave versus fucking up the box and da 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 da. Like she ain't hearing that, but she still hears the he who, and that's her favorite fucking part. She literally, when she hears the song come on, it's like he who, and then the next thing is brand new slaves. You know what I mean? She's learning the lyrics from what I'm doing, not what's out there. But the point is that we got to counterbalance what the fuck they be doing with this, bro. The frequencies, the resonance, the sounds, the acoustics, the vibrations, like all of this shit is being used against us all the time.
The cover art,
everything.
Like,
everything. It's all layers, bro.
We called it sensory marketing and subconscious marketing.
Did the NAACP say anything about his comment? I mean, honestly, like,
not that I don't.
I'm gonna tell you how I feel about the NAACP. Like, listen, a lot of these movements have been bought and rebought and paid for over and over again. Money has changed a lot of people's compass, because then we have put this whole thing out there about being broke activists.
Right.
What makes you think you're gonna be the richest activist if your people don't put money into your pocket? Why do you think after Martin Luther King, he wasn't the only one that died? People think he died for the I Have a Dream speech. Y'all fucking missed the whole shit. It was the second speech. It was the speech from the mountaintop that got that man killed. When he talked about bringing his people into a burning house is what got him killed.
Yep.
Okay? Malcolm fighting against the nation who already had been subverged in a lot of ways to create his own movement that was standing on his laurels got him killed. Medgar Evers was in charge of the NAACP, and he wanted to move in a certain way. He got killed. The one thing that you have to accept is that if you really want to be a person to change this shit, you got to be brave enough to understand you could die.
Absolutely.
You got to be brave enough to understand you could be martyred. In fact, more likely than not, don't just watch Braveheart,
right,
and think, oh, that's an amazing movie. More often than not, no matter what culture you come from, that's how the fuck it goes down for change to happen. People died in a civil war, and we're celebrating those people today.
Right.
For motherfuckers to be arguing about wearing a mask. Niggas had to do a whole lot more to keep you safe, and you won't even keep yourself safe. The shit's retarded. We got to wake up. But my brothers and sisters, for sure, got to wake the fuck up. Like DMSF, you was born with it. It wasn't meant to be. I think it's so easy because a lot of us are looking for distraction. Yeah, escapism is a huge thing, bro. Huge thing. That's how people keep getting caught. I wish we could ignore this. Others, oh, here we go. Yeah, man, it's crazy. Drugs, drama, etc. Of course, it's crazy. I take the hate as a sign and flatter. They're scared to kind of always. Yo, bro, like I was watching something. I forgot what it was, and I never heard it said this way before. And it was like, you know, you got to understand something about a racist. A racist isn't. They can call it supremacy all they want, but it's really inferiority complex. It's really because you're afraid to lose ground in something.
Yes.
That's all it is. So when you're racist to me, you're weak. You're weak. If I'm sexist, I'm weak. If I'm homophobic, I'm weak. Because what does your life, wanting to be a mermaid or a fucking Luke Skywalker, have to do with me? Live your fucking life. Unless it's going to kill me, unless you're Third Reich marching in and we got to bang it out, live how the fuck you want to live. But hate is weak. Hate is weak. It's the easiest thing to be weak at. It's easy to hate. It's easy to hate. That's why love is so hard, fam. So when niggas be talking about me, I never want to be married because this girl X amount of years ago broke my heart, or this guy, you're whack. You're weak. You're weak. You're giving up on a lifetime. You only got one chance at this shit of finding a soulmate because you got screwed over by Bozo the clown that you knew was a clown. That's being in denial about yourself. Far too often, people talk about being fooled. Nigga, if you date somebody for 3 months and find out and you be like, damn, man, I can't deal with this shit. You got fooled. If you was with a nigga 3 years You're not fooled. You're choosing to be a fool. Yeah, if you're not willing to die for it, you don't care as much as you do. And that's true. You know, I even had people like, okay, listen, I'm willing to live for this. Absolutely. But I have a line in the sand where I will die for this shit. I will die for my cause. The shit, the convictions that I listen, people always think I'm fucking crazy. The reason I'm like this is because I was in the fucking streets willing to die for nothing. For a fucking illusion of a lifestyle. So then when I found foundations and a purpose and things to stand on, I will die for my wife. I will die for my child. I will die for my brothers. I will die for my community. Do I want to? Of course fucking not.
Right.
But at least I'm willing to take the sacrifice. Why? Because on a day like this, on a day like Memorial Day, all I have is examples of people who did it and I've forgotten all the fucking time. While we compare fucking wearing masks to slavery, and you got fucking graveyards lined with bodies of white, black, purple, green, whatever the fuck you want to call it, that fought for us to have these freedoms that we have today. We are fucking spoiled.
Citizens,
we are spoiled.
Non-citizens, everything.
Don't listen. Fear is a hell of a drug. Fear will stifle your ability to ever be anything you ever want to be. I said it earlier, yo. There's been people tagging me in these posts like top rappers in New Bedford. Da 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 da. Do you really, motherfucker? I have never in my life wrote a bar or wrote a 16 or wrote a song and said, "This is gonna make me the hardest nigga in New Bedford." I'm from Boston, and when I write raps, I don't fucking care about the niggas that's in proximity to me. I'm making music to make music. See, when you get back to making music for making music, that's when the game shifts back to what it was made for, which was real, true self-expression. But right now, we just got Mr. Me Too shit going on all the time. Nobody's making this shit from their heart anymore. You got to really make this shit from your heart. That's why I make songs about being married. Nigga, what am I going to rap about? Bitches in the club and shit. Like, what the fuck? I don't know shit about that now. I wouldn't even want to know nothing about it. Every time I listen to one of you niggas tell me some shit, and again, different strokes for different folks. Different strokes for different folks. All I ever say to them is, I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you do it. What? She did what? You did what? I don't know how you do it. Your tires got slashed. I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you do it. Well, I'm going to go eat this lovely dinner that she made, or I'm going to make dinner tomorrow, whatever. See you later, bro. Deuces.
Right, exactly.
Like, people got to wake the fuck up, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, niggas got to get back ethics and morals and holding bars for ourselves. It's almost like if you hold anybody to a standard now, you're an asshole. When people tell me they want to be great, don't tell me that shit, because I'm going to hold you to that standard. If you tell me you're going to be great, but you're doing JoJo up the street shit, I'm going to say something to you, nigga. Like, what you expect from me? I want to be great, so I expect people to hold me to a standard. So if you ever see me out here slacking on my shit, treating somebody fucked up, you better say something to me or you're whack. I want to be held to a standard. I never was majority of my life. Soon as I got married. I start womanizing. I start playing games. Soon as I was. First woman to meet me and be like, nigga, I got a standard. And it wasn't even about being rich or none of that shit. It was about being loyal, faithful, committed. Sharing souls, building together, and getting that in return. You know what the problem is? People renege on deals all the time. Let me see. When you live for yourself, you truly live for others. It's true, man. Like, how can I not? I'm not going to be better if I'm great, right? And then I'm a flower, but I'm growing in a toxic dump.
Yeah. You need the rest of the things around you have to complement that in order for it to be a success. That's kind of like talking about The Last Dance a little bit, where Jordan wanted certain pieces around him. Yeah, he was great, but he knew he needed certain pieces around him. He had to make them great as well in order to accomplish certain things. Or I actually just sent you something too about the legacy of billionaires that aren't leaving things to their kids.
Mia taking shots at me, just don't be mean when you say it. And that's a lesson she taught me. But on the Dinner Club podcast, fuck that.
Fuck that.
This is an adult platform. Niggas got to grow up ASAP. We are fucking at the edge of complete fuckery if we don't get it together. Our kids are ill-equipped to deal with this shit.
This is a pivotal moment in history.
This is a very pivotal moment. Very, very pivotal moment. Every fucking day is a pivotal moment if you really appreciate life. But generationally, this is pivotal. Do you understand what I'm telling you? We got people who keep saying Bill Gates wants to put chips in everybody, but it's cool with Elon Musk telling you, nigga, I'm trying to replace your mind with a Neuralink.
Yeah.
You trust that nigga? Why?
Right. So
what?
Is it bad?
Like, why do you trust Elon? Because he made an electric car? What the fuck? What is the difference? What is the difference? I'm confused.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? And that's the ugly side of things too, right? Everybody who always wants it soft. Okay, cool. I could tell it to you soft, but then you'll go out here and get hard in the world. And you don't know how to deal with that shit. I do not want a coach who's like, you can do it, man. Just don't worry about it. Oh, you lost. It's all right, man. You know, here goes a trophy. Let's go get some pizza anyway. Nigga, I'm throwing that pizza. Fuck that. I got my ass whooped.
Buy it and dump it in front of them.
Exactly, Kathy. Some people confuse passion with aggression. Nigga, aggression is me whooping your ass. Passion is me saying it. I'm a coach. I don't know how else to say it. I only do the soft shit to children. When it comes to adults, I'm a coach.
Right.
I don't know how to baby adults. Niggas my age. There's no need for that. There's no need for that. If anything, me approaching you like that is giving you the dexterity you need that you lack.
Not to mention the supper who are the social. Yeah, we talked about that. Kingston wanting to go to the zoo.
It's a balance too. You know what I'm saying? It's a balance too, because like when you're doing what you need to do, I'm not gonna rah at you because you're doing what you. I'm gonna. Yo, great job. That's what I'm talking about, bro. Keep it up. But when you deviate from the course, I don't necessarily. I'm not gonna be like this. It's hot right now. Like I'm amped. But I could say, yo, bro, I could literally say something in a plain ass voice, like, bro, that's whack. I can't believe you did that. Like, yo, he's mad aggressive. Like, what? Nigga, I just said that's whack. You shouldn't have did that. Right. Like, don't do that. So again, we are in an age where people can't even fight against words, nigga. Like words hurt, nigga. A word ain't never fucking hurt me, nigga. The fuck are you talking about? I've been called everything. I ain't never been hurt by no words. My mama told me I wasn't gonna be shit. That shit didn't bother me, nigga. That shit gave me dexterity. It made me realize my mama talking shit. Everybody gonna talk shit.
Yo, I moved out and got a place, nigga.
I ain't never in my life
moving out
been broken by words, nigga. Nah. Well, everybody is my baby. It's true, and that's why we are good together. Because once I ream their ass, I'm like, go to Mia. Get patted on the back, niggas. I can't deal with this. But I promise you, there's never, ever, ever, ever. I've been called nigger. Give a fuck. You want to fight or what?
Straight like that.
Like, if you feel that way, are you willing to live and die on that? But I'm not going to throw the fist first, nigga, because I'm not catching the case. I want niggas to see you. I mean, he said nigga and threw the punch. Now it's on.
They be mad when they don't land that first punch, though.
Yo, balance is best. And that's why in the areas that I can't change, my wife fills the voids and vice versa. We've learned so much from each other by filling each other's voids and not trying to just manipulate who we are to get people to completely change, but by converging in a sense to meet our bubbles in the middle. So we have our exterior sides. If you ever seen the bubble convergence, okay, it's like my hands right now. So right here, you still got her and you still got me, you know what I'm saying? But there's a place in the middle where those two worlds converge to balance. Balance is, people just think I got balance. Have you ever tried to balance? It takes work. You don't just balance and it's fucking balance.
No, you have to constantly be adjusting.
You have to constantly be adjusting to maintain balance. Constantly. That's what a real connection is. Yo, I didn't know, bro. I was stupid. You know what I'm saying? I'm proud to let y'all know, though, because we're changing things up a little bit. So Mondays, my man Tyson's gonna be on for the current topics, hot topics, all of this good stuff, deep dives, all of that good stuff. Then Wednesdays, we're gonna have a his and hers thing going on with my wife and myself, because we realize that people need to hear it more. You know what I'm saying? And not like, because people, I almost get taken back when people are like, "Oh, you guys are the perfect couple." Da, 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 da. Like, nigga, you have no idea the smoke, nigga. You just understand something. We're both really good at putting out fires. Y'all can stay independently, but you guys have each other's backs in the areas you may lack, or just and some and I'm gonna tell you the truth. That's true. But then, let me give you an example. My wife is a lover. Period. I was used to having chicks around that were like just want to fight bitches. You know what I'm saying? My wife ain't about that life at all. It's not in her pedigree, period. She's Mother Teresa. She ain't having it. She's not fighting shit. So I used to be like, damn, what's up with you? You know what I mean? Like, what, nigga, bitch, talking shit to me. You on, I had to realize, like, why do I want her to be that way? Mm-hmm. So I had to be the one to be like, you know what? Then that's something that I could take on, because in the area where it's not good to fight, she's going to make sure that I don't got to deal with that shit. Mm-hmm. It's really, honestly, stop trying to change niggas. Stop.
Start complimenting.
Stop. Life is going to change, motherfuckers. Start trying to coach niggas in the right direction. Coax, but not change. Not forcefully push somebody. Like, this is what you need to do. No. This is what I think you have the potential to be. This is what I think, if you stop doing that, how that can affect you in the long run. But what we run into is niggas just doing wild shit to try to get people to change. Like, you ain't shit like the rest of these niggas. How the fuck is that effective? How the fuck is that effective?
When did that ever work?
It wasn't effective when our mama said it to us, and it ain't effective when you say it to us. And the same vice versa. You just like these other bitches. That's stupid. We are a hot mess. Do not be mistaken. Here's the beauty of us. We will tell you. We went through hella turmoil. But at the other end of that storm was perfect weather. And guess what? Enjoy that shit while it lasts, because there'll be another storm. It's like understanding that every time I hear a person say, when is it going to stop? I'm like, nigga, how old are you? Right. You 20-something talking about when it's going to stop? Nigga, it ain't. I look at niggas older than me, married couples and shit. They still argue about dumb shit. Is the dumb shit worth losing everything? No. If in some cases, serious. There is a such thing as serious shit. There's such thing as serious shit. Get the fuck out of here. You understand what I'm saying? You do certain shit, get the fuck out of here. But some shit is not worth the stupidity. And each person's different. So some shit that might be a deal closer for me might not be a deal closer for her, and vice versa. The thing is finding that mutual respect is where, again, in that convergence where it's like, well, we both got these lists, and I'm not even going to cross that line, or you're not going to cross that line. And then we both got our individual selves, but we come together when need be. But most of the time, it's just like when we parent too. I have my way of parenting, she has her way of parenting, and sometimes them shits gotta converge. Right. And we find a best way to make that work. But still, I want my daughter to know her father for certain aspects and her mother for certain aspects. Not just two doppelgangers trying to play the game. Right. Her energy is different. I swear to God, I don't know where the hell she's from, though. She's the alien. Yeah, that's what we got married to. Listen, I literally walked down the aisle to that song. Who wants that perfect? Like, people were looking around like, these niggas is crazy. But we still here. There you go. I think things people forget is communication. Comprehension is key. You communicate when you don't want to, because you don't want the person wrong. Death lose it anyway. But when it's put on the table, you can work and find a solution. And that's the biggest problem, because like the lack of patience based on the last person a lot of the time. Yeah. Yeah, I know she's not talking. Yo, look, see, this is where we're gonna get into this imperfect shit. You feel what I'm saying? She talking, yo, bro. I specifically will go to the grocery store. I've been doing all the grocery shopping lately. I'm like, what do you want for snacks? Right. Nothing. Nigga, I'll come back with my Pop-Tarts. My s'mores and brown sugar Pop-Tarts, to be precise.
S'mores is my shit. Yes.
I go downstairs, them shits is gone. Her and Nyla annihilate them shits. Yeah. So it's payback. Love it. It's best true love connection. Let it keep that balance, and it's beautiful. I love it. Yo, you know it's crazy too. Like, here's the thing too. Neither one of us are naive as well. Shit could change. Understanding that shit could change is what's going to keep it from changing. As far as like anybody doing something dumb, we got to be realistic. Niggas be like, you get married to somebody, right? Life is not guaranteed. So why do you think someone's love and respect and admiration is going to be guaranteed just because you got a ring, nigga? Like, no, nigga, we got to work on this. We got to still court each other. We got to still care. The other day I went to the store. I told her I'm not Hallmark. I was just in the store. Fuck that. I bought that $5 rose. Here, nigga. Here. Here. It's a rose. It wasn't a dozen. It's a rose. So what? You had no rose, nigga.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? Like, shit could be different. You know what I mean?
I was thinking about you.
So you know what I'm saying? So like, understand. Wait, what did he put? And you won't even cross any lines. Often we're not perfect if we're having these conversations in the first place. Facts. Because yo, no one's perfect. What the fuck is this? Like, this is some shit that somebody made up to control everybody. The perfect body image, the perfect this, the perfect that. Like, fuck out of here, bro. Fuck out of here. We're all fucked up in some kind of way. Yes, life and death. That's right. I'm pregnant. Be quiet. Yeah, true. True. And that's why I don't say shit. I be talking shit under my breath. I be like, motherfucker, ain't on my shit. You can't talk shit to a pregnant woman. I'm gonna go sit the fuck down. Fuck.
Right.
Let's go back and get some goddamn Pop-Tarts. They're on sale this week anyway. Fuck it. Yes, the more you know, the less you know. Yeah. Yeah. And that's the key, man. Like, okay, so another thing. People see this shit and think that there's just absolute, you know, I don't know what niggas be thinking. Like, niggas, like, I like, niggas can have jealous, all that shit. Like, everybody's human. It's understanding as these things are happening. And here's the biggest part. Like, somebody can have a jealous moment or envious moment or whatever, right? But here's the part that most people miss. They react to it before thinking about why.
Yep, you'll get a sty.
You know what I'm saying? Like, just, hey, don't be trying to give me no styes, all right? I was getting a whole hell of a lot of those. Unconditional, and that's Disney bullshit. Yeah, it's not unconditional. It's bullshit, bro. It's not unconditional. You can do some shit, nigga. Like, what are you talking about? So before we get out of here, I want to talk about one last thing that I had noticed for a debate, right? I don't want to even pull it up. I'll just talk about it right quick, right? Because I noticed, like, I was actually surprised at how many women were standing on this, right? So the question was, hold on, your spouse murder your kid or family, you really think you're gonna really be like, no, like, we're getting there. You got a nice little angle. We're getting there. So check this out. So the question was, if it's your spouse or your child hanging from the cliff, who would you save? I was actually surprised at how many women said the guy, right?
Yeah.
Because they said, oh, you can make another child. I'm like, damn.
Cold-blooded.
Now, I won't shit on it because I can understand some people's line of thinking that way. But I couldn't even look at my wife the same if she dropped Nyla and didn't let me go. Nigga, I'd be like, let me go. Let me go. Nyla, let me go. That's what we're here. We're parents, son. Like, you're talking about, I've lived a lot of my life. This child has so much life left to live. I'm not, fuck me. Fuck me. Fuck me. If we car accident, God forbid, car accident, trapped in the car, you can only save one of us. Get my baby the fuck out of here.
Right.
Now, here's where I'm a little twisted, though. It's easy for me to say that to sacrifice myself. What would I do, though?
Right.
That's just hard. Now, I'm going to save my baby. I love you, Mia. I'm going to save my baby. And I would pray that you would understand that our baby's paramount. Save the kids. It's all about saving the kids. But, man, listen. Hold on. Let me see what people said. What did y'all say? Oh, this fucking shit, bro. Shit was savage. Oh, wow. Child was my first instinct. Thank you, babe. Thank you. Save Nyla. Let me go. Let me go. Y'all motherfuckers dumb as fuck. Like I'm telling you. But she said, bye, boo. Damn.
Cold-blooded.
I'm like, you better not get married again. Y'all ever watch that episode of Fresh Prince? He's like, Hillary Banks, will you marry me? Oh, that nigga hit the ground, son. Yep. And you think my kid is gonna supersede someone? Yeah, exactly. Look at the wrestler. Said, take my son, get me later. Yeah, fuck that. I'm dying. Always children, they're the future. Exactly. See, I'm glad I got some people here with some, again, I guess I can understand some people's way of thinking. I guess I can sympathize with it, but I can't understand it. You know what I'm saying? It ain't happening.
Yeah, no, that cliff scenario all day is gonna be the kid, because it's tough. It's probably gonna be tough to look at your partner knowing that they made that decision.
I could never.
Yeah.
I could never. We would lose each other.
Mm-hmm.
At that point, I'd rather be dead and up there partying and jamming, knowing y'all are straight, than to ever have to live with that.
Right.
I could never. Now, let me give you one more scenario before we get out of here. 10 more minutes. So let's say your significant other is traveling in the car with the child, right? And they're not drinking and driving, nothing like that. It's just a legitimate accident.
Okay.
And your child dies, but they were at fault. They turned in the lane too quick or something like that. They were at fault, but it was a legitimate accident and your child dies. Can you forgive them? I'm not answering yet. Y'all answer. Remember, it's a legitimate accident. Let's say you were just making a regular everyday lane change, and for some reason you didn't see that car in your blind spot, and that car hits y'all. Y'all hit the median, the car flips, and your child's dead, but your wife makes it or your husband makes it. Can you forgive your spouse for that? Talk to me, people. Talk to me, people.
What we got?
Okay, my man Ian's out here with the yes.
Isn't that part
Here's
of a
why.
Tyler Perry plot too?
It's been in mad movies. It's been mad movies. And I'm always interested on how it turns out because they always play both sides, but I want to know what the general public thinks. Let me know, Ian, why? Okay, we are human and shit happens. Yeah, it's definitely going to take some time to get over that. You're going to have to miss me because I'm going with my baby. That's real. But at the end of the day, it's small shit that causes the biggest fuck ups. But babe, like, let's imagine that the car accident happens, right? And you wake up in the hospital, because that's how it typically happens. And then, or you're in the ambulance and you're like, where's Nyla? And they're like, she's gone. You know what I'm saying? Are you gonna off yourself? You're gonna miss them because I'm going to. But at the end of the day, it's small shit that causes the biggest fuck up. Let's be real. Yes, you have to. And again, this comes down to communication about it all. I agree, brother. So like,
you're gonna need counseling. You're gonna need something.
Here's why I look at it, right? Because I'm a nigga that gets mad if like Nyla stumbles or some shit and she's with Mia right now. I'm like, nigga, he
was right there.
So like, I would be able to forgive, but I do agree. Like, I would recommend counseling immediately. Because the it's bad enough if you can't forgive them and the person can't even forgive themselves. You might drive that person off of a cliff for real. So I would be able to forgive. But man, it would be crazy.
I feel like you have to try. Like,
yeah,
you can't just be like, oh man, you fucked up, I'm gone. I feel like you have to try to
see, like, and Kathy brings up a good point, because like it depends. Like, were you texting and driving?
Yeah.
I don't know if I could forgive that. When you know better, you know what I'm saying? Like, did you not have the seatbelt on properly? Something like, if it's some shit that like literally was avoidable,
then yeah.
I don't know. You know, blind spot shit happens all the time. You understand what I'm saying? Like, that's why they got blind side sensors and shit on the cars. But it happens all the time. And even them shits can fail sometimes. You know what I'm saying? You can get too comfortable in that technology, twitch that lane, and blam, a semi hit your ass.
I mean, backup cams, people get too comfortable with backup cams and they get in a car and forget that a car doesn't have one and end up backing into something.
Yeah, nah, big facts. Like, yo, counseling would be detrimental to everything in that situation. It really does depend on the situation. Because I actually feel me a little bit like, damn, like if I woke up in the car, nigga, like, and my baby's gone, like, I don't know if I could live with myself.
Right.
The best thing I've ever heard about pain is it's like a ball in a box. It's huge and it hits the bottom of emotional pain, but often it gets smaller with time and it hits the bottom less. But it's always going to be hitting. Yeah, pain is a necessary aspect of life.
Right.
The same pain that you can feel from losing someone is the same pain that keeps you understanding not to touch the stove again. You know what I'm saying? So you're supposed to learn from these things if you can. But it's tough. Oh, what a nightmare. Now me and Nyla ain't going nowhere. Y'all ain't going nowhere anyway. Y'all ain't going nowhere anyway.
She said, click, click in the house. She's gonna be buckled up on the couch.
Right? We got the whole padded room movement going on over here. I'm like, nah. Especially after I just seen that report, I was like, nigga, you ain't. You going to sit in the yard? moving on to different things I can give someone and decide it's not healthy to have them in my life still. Yeah. It all depends on the situation for me. I respect that. But for me, it just depends on the situation. You know what I'm saying? Like if I find out like you was literally texting or some shit, like I don't know. But if it was literally just what happened, you know what I'm saying? What happened matters.
Yeah.
And even then you gotta figure it out. You know what I'm saying? Look at my man over here. Sit your ass down. For real. They ain't going nowhere, fam. This COVID shit's not playing. For all the people that's like, you know, ready to run outside and shit, have fun with that shit. Cause I'm gonna wait to see how y'all fare out there. As you can, I really don't get it. Cause like, as they say, like all these places are reopening, you see the numbers spiking. So whatever, you know what I mean? Like teach their own, dog. I'm gonna still be out here masked up. Yo, even after they talk about like, yo, it's been like 3 years. We got vaccinations and I'm still wearing a mask. Like, nigga, nigga, what we talking about? Like, like you're violating my rights.
Exactly. I can still wear this if I want.
Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, they're trying to take my sanitizer away.
So listen, I just want to say again, I appreciate you guys so much. I want to let you know like some of the stuff that's going to be going on. So Mondays, it's going to be me and Ty on here doing some hot topics and shit like that. And he'll also be filling in whatever other days that, you know, anybody else can't make it. But then Wednesdays, we're going to have his and hers. The Dinner Club podcast is going to be me and me on here. And also, you know, Ty and his significant other, if she wants to come on as well. Or any couples really that want to come on and talk, even single people, you know, the polys or whatever, you know, want to talk about their different dynamics and how they deal with those relationships, you know, come on and talk, you know what I'm saying? All I ask is that we all be respectful and understand that, you know, we're all looking towards the same goal here, which is creating dialogue, healthy dialogue, sharpening each other's minds and spirits, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, for real, enjoy that second wave. Definitely don't forget, but yes, forgive. America. Right way to put a fear in you. Yeah. So, and then Fridays, we're going to try to get back into some more music stuff. I'm going to bring Nina Lore back. If y'all don't know Nina Lore, we've done a lot of work together throughout the years. We started the radio station out in Brockton together a few years ago, maybe like 5 years ago, 4 years ago. Then the building got condemned, all that crazy shit, so we couldn't use it anymore, whatever. But she's been still doing her thing with 60 Minutes of Lore. But recently, you know, again, COVID happened and kind of put them in a detrimental situation where that, I don't know if the station couldn't survive or it just wasn't working out, but I'm definitely looking, you know, opportunity, man. Luck is when preparation meets opportunity. So, you know, we were prepared with this platform. I want to bring Nina back in on Fridays. We'll be doing some music reviews, again, some other topics. Just having more female presence on the show as well is important to me to bring back some balance. And, you know, as always, we're always going to bring in special guests. Always can I bring myself? And I, of course, yep, absolutely. You can always chime in. And Ian, you know what I'm saying? Like, we've always told everybody, if you want to jump on the show, just inbox us. You can come in and chime in on any of these topics. Like, we're not like, sometimes we'll schedule ahead of time, but even then, like, we'll still add more people and stuff like that. Just because I see some people that have opinions on things and I want to see if they'll bring it to the table here and let other people feed off of what they're
flush it out. You know what I mean? Sometimes an opinion sounds one way when you're thinking it or writing it, but then when you actually talk through it, you're like, oh, actually, wait a minute, I didn't think about this, or I didn't think about that, or I was wrong, or I was right. You never know. So
yeah, I'm looking forward to Wednesdays too, because I feel like it's a good way for me and Mia to actually have a refresher on why we're here, why we're doing what we're doing, why we're staying committed. Like, it's not just us. It's not a preachy thing. We're going to talk about our experiences. We want to hear other people's experiences, and maybe we all can find things to value more within each other. I think it's going to be a good therapeutic thing for my marriage and other people as well. You know what I'm saying? Because like a lot of people get caught up in like, you know, there's a whole game to make people not get married now too. You know that. So you got to watch out for that shit too. I mean, can it be detrimental? As detrimental as you picking the wrong person for a relationship? Absolutely. But if you go about it the right way and you go about it with the right things in mind, legacy, generational, you know, being committed to your community. We're not even like religious like that. So people think that we are. They be thinking like we be Hail Marrying around the crib. No, we got a spiritual relationship with the universe. Absolutely. But as far as like man-written dogmas and shit, we don't fuck with none of that. We just believe in the universe and the laws of reciprocity and all of that shit. And we just keep it moving. I'm happily self-partner, laugh my ass off. You know, Pamela counts, nigga. You out here.
Yeah,
Pamela's
there you
out
go.
Here, you know what I'm saying?
Right? Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Can we get a therapist on to meditate? Absolutely. Absolutely. Do what you do. I told you Wednesdays is yours. I'm just showing up and going to deal whatever the women got for me. Like, all right, let's do this. All right, let me see. Good shit and definitely great idea. Got to get a cam for this new computer first. Right now, camless. All good. You know, cell phones work too. You know what I'm saying? We'll take whatever. We can also just put audio. That's cool too. I'm down. Definitely fun to talk and not type. Absolutely, Kathy. Again, you know, you're welcome anytime. Major things, just everybody having a good connection. You know what I'm saying? Being stable. You know, I'm stationary while you're doing it helps. You know what I'm saying? I always tell people too, if you're in a area where you're connected to the Wi-Fi, the closer you are to your Wi-Fi router, the better your signal is on your device as well. Big fact, someone's looking back and talking like each other in a relationship can remind you of why and how great it is. Nah, facts. Not like I want to hear the war stories. I want to hear people's fears and anxieties. I want people to hear our fears and anxieties. I want people to understand that we go through like a lot of the same thoughts, processes, all of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? All of that shit. You know what I'm saying? People would be surprised to learn more about us and understand that like we've never tried to portray it as it's been easy. But I will also say that she never will take this shit to a public platform. That's something that we kind of try to keep under wraps. I be throwing subs sometimes. I work at Subway like part-time every now and then. You know what I'm saying? She catch a foot long every now and then. You know what I'm saying?
There you go.
This ain't no celebrity love shit. This is real life shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, again, people try to regard us as a certain way. You know what I'm saying? Like, people always talk about like, oh, you guys are the perfect couple and all. I'm like, bro, I don't know what the fuck you talking about. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have no idea what you're talking about. If perfect means imperfect, then cool. Yeah. Because, you know, we just deal with each other's imperfections. You know what I'm saying? Like all the way around, you know, it's understanding that, again, some people are just fucking spoiled. We live in a crazy time. Imagine people who still were able to love each other during slavery.
Right.
Imagine men who had to deal with their women being dragged away as wenches and then come back to the shack and still love that woman because she had no control of that circumstance. Mm-hmm. You understand what I'm saying? Like, imagine fucking go to Romeo and Juliet, get Shakespearean and shit. Niggas trying to drug each other to die to be with each other and shit. You understand what I'm saying? Fucking the story all up. Othello, all these crazy ass shit. It was some crazy. Shakespeare was on some straight incest shit. With a lot of his shit though. But yeah, and on God, like that's the number one thing. We don't give a fuck what people say about our relationship. Number one. Listen, when I was out here being player pimp, you know what I'm saying? Like all my boys, when they saw me, you know, slowing down, even now I still get that shit once in a while. Like, oh, this nigga, you know, he's different because he's wifed up. Like, yeah, I am. Yeah, I understand the value of this woman versus these chicks. You know what I'm saying? They're just chicks. There's the same way there's dog ass niggas out here, there's dog ass women out here. You know what I'm saying? And people are looking at each other, valuing each other for the wrong shit. You know, one thing that I can say is like, I don't have all the riches in the world. I didn't come into this situation. Like I came in this situation, child support out the ass, 2 baby mamas, kids, all the baggage you could think of. Nigga, I had enough baggage. I couldn't even do baggage claim. I had to ride Spirit. Nigga, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so like, it was different. It was different for her to deal with me. And just to see her love me for the person that I was going to be versus the person that I was a big deal. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's not going to do that either. You know what I'm saying? Like this woman got the fucking, the patience of Buddha and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like this motherfucker zenned out. She's a monk or some shit. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know how she be putting up with me. And I remember back in the day when like all her girls was like, he ain't gonna be there. He ain't gonna last. All them bitches was wrong. All y'all bitches. If you walking right now, bitch, you was wrong.
You guessed it. You was wrong.
Bitch, you guessed it. You was wrong. All right. So again, other people's expectations of your relationships don't mean shit.
Right.
Other people's expectations of your spouses don't mean shit. If you're a woman, don't be afraid to find a man that needs repair. Like, what the fuck is that? What does that mean? If you're a man, don't be afraid to deal with a woman that needs a repair. But understand the difference between somebody actually getting, you know, there's a difference between empowerment
and
enabling. So don't find somebody, if you're trying to repair somebody, if people don't come ready-made. Like, everybody's looking for this ready-made out the box shit. Like, this shit is real life, man. Motherfuckers got to get off the TV, man. This shit is real life. So you just got to learn how to deal with each other. You know what I'm saying? And understand how to build each other up. Don't look at a nigga because they broke today and being broke forever. And don't look at a woman as being broke today, being broke forever. Nigga, we all got situations that could change. You know how many motherfuckers looked at me and told me I wasn't going to be shit. I was going to be dead. And you know how close they was to being right, but they ain't. Mm-hmm. Same niggas that doubted me be on my Facebook all the time, complimenting, liking pictures of me and my wife and my child and my home and my da-da-da-da. Do I feel any kind of way? In the beginning, hell yeah. I was like, nigga, fuck y'all. But after a while, I was like, nah, this is the good point to be an example of a nigga that made his road to redemption without being a dickhead about it and talking to people. I'm like, yo, I did it. And you may have fell somewhere along the way of the line. I can help you do that. Yo, here's the reality. I've learned enough life lessons in this marriage that I can lose all this shit tomorrow. But I've learned enough here to never, ever regret going through this with my wife and building on my life moving forward and her building on hers moving forward.
Right.
It's just a level of maturity and understanding that the universe, we don't control everything. As much as I love my wife, as much as she loved me, people fuck up. You understand what I'm saying? Shit could happen. So I never put it out of my mind. It's not that I'm looking for something to happen. Prepare for the worst, hope for the best. I live by that shit. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm always prepared for things to change, but I'm always prepared to keep things together too. You know what I mean? So just keep putting that work. And again, we'll talk about more of that shit on Wednesday. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to get into a deep dive right now and shit. Spirit, you know what time it is, man. I think that's the biggest thing about a relationship. Seeing what is there and then working towards that. Yo, you know what else is big about a relationship? This is the last thing I'll say. Being mentally balanced is better than anything, in my opinion. I was in a 17-year relationship until 2 years ago and have a different view than I had then. Yeah, because people change. You know what I'm saying? Things change, circumstances change. Some people, you know, there's a real study out there about that 7-year window gap.
Yeah.
So like shit happens with
itch.
Yeah, shit happens with that 7-year shit. And I don't know if it's I don't know if it's a result of not getting to where you felt like you need to be in life, and then you look at the other person like this. A lot of people project shit. You understand what I'm saying? Yep. I've learned to appreciate all my wife's W's all day. Don't give a shit if they're better than mine, worse than mine. Doesn't matter. I've learned to appreciate them all. I've learned to be there for all her L's, no matter if they're hard or soft, whatever. You know what I'm saying? And vice versa. So like, it just is what it is. We're not out here again. We're doing this to make people understand. Like you niggas got the wrong perception. You know what I'm saying? It took a lot of work, and it takes a lot of work to see those smiles that we have. It takes a lot of work to see our child happy the way she is. It takes a lot of work to see our family together the way it is. You know how hard it is to be in a family where you got to actually be real and be able to say things to each other that are uncomfortable, but still have love for each other? It's the families that don't do that shit. That be thinking this shit's like the TV, thinking you trying to keep up with the Kardashians. Yep. Them niggas is nuts. Them niggas is nuts. Right. What are you keeping up with? Them niggas is nuts. Niggas be talking about reality TV. The Kardashians just as fucking trash, bro. It's just a different level of trash. Don't dig your nails into me. These bitches fighting. You know what I mean? Like, come on, what are y'all talking about? Yeah. So yeah, exactly. We control nothing. Yes, growing apart is definitely a thing. That's a fact. So that's one of Mia's biggest things is always working on not growing apart. One of my biggest things is always making sure we don't get complacent. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't feel like you have me so easily that you don't have to work for anything. You don't have to be seductive, or you don't gotta be, you know what I'm saying? Like, no, nigga, be my mistress and my wife. You kidding me? Be both. Okay. Surprise me, nigga. What you talking about? I'm like, who? What's your name tonight? All right, Nefertiti, let's get it. Let's conquer the world, Nefertiti. I'll be your slave today. You know what I'm saying? Also, you know, like talking about each other's physical limitations and all of that shit. Understanding some shit is deviant behavior from your past before. So you don't want to necessarily bring that on to your wife and all that other shit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's a sacrifice, but you don't want to put that queen in that, you know what I'm saying? Like that queen is in a different space. She's not a harlot, you know what I mean? Or
exactly.
You know what I mean? So you don't want some of that deviant shit. You gotta leave at the door, fam. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be willing to sacrifice some shit. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you know what I mean? It just is what it is, bro. It's just growing the fuck up. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how to, like, I'm not gonna write a book or a novel on this shit. You can just watch back these podcasts and see that a motherfucker's grown, bro. Like, I'm still vulgar. I'll still punch somebody in the head for the right reason. I still get on my wife's nerves. I still say the wrong things sometimes, but the major thing is I'm willing to admit all of those things. I'm willing to actually address them. I'm willing to actually work on them, and I'm willing to actually make progress. You know what I'm saying? Yep, and that's okay. And don't get hung up on the time put in. That's a fact. Huge, especially when you go through hard times and don't grow through them. It shows you everything. That's the balance she does with her energy meant to do. Yeah, nah, for real. And like, don't be afraid to. Again, like fear is whack. You know what I'm saying? Like fear is whack. Of course, I fear like losing my family, but I don't fear not being able to survive. Of course, I don't want to lose what we have, but I don't have any fear of like not being able to move on with life. I used to be that way. When I was dealing with authorities, nigga, and it was over, I was like, I just had a need to be with somebody.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then it had to be somebody's all the time. You understand what I'm saying? And then I just got to the point where I don't know where the fuck this nigga came from, the universe. Thank you so much. But that somebody's turned into someone, period. You know what I'm saying? And then I allowed enough time for that someone to be special. There was literally a point in time where we were going to split up before marriage, before all of this shit. Like, shit was crazy. There was a lot of toxicity from her relationship and my relationship that was boiling over into each other. And it just was not healthy at one point. And the one thing that I told myself is like, all right, I'm willing to work on her side, but I definitely got to change my perspective because I just didn't feel like I could ever be that attached to a woman like that. I never had a decent relationship with my mom. I never had a real good relationship with any of the women that was around me. I grew up around a lot of black women who, like, to be honest with you, were trained to tear young black men down and tell them we ain't gonna do shit and all of that other shit, with just like our daddies and all that other shit, or our uncles or our cousins. And then we end up living that curse because, again, we're influenced, you know, you influence us with those impressions, you know what I'm saying? And at some point I had to just take that toxicity on my side. See, sometimes niggas be waiting for the other person to make a move. How about you make a move? How about you lead by example? You understand what I'm saying? When I want certain things to change in our relationship, I lead by example now. Period. You know what I'm saying? If I feel like you're not doing enough of this, I'm going to do more of it so you can realize, okay, wait a minute. And then if you don't, then I'm going to have a conversation. But again, lead by example. Be a leader on each side. Y'all don't, it ain't about one person leading the other. It's about you leading each other together. You both are co-captains of this fucking flight. I don't give a fuck if you want to read the radar and I want to fly. We're both needed to get the fuck to the where we got to get to safely. You know what I mean? So unison. You know what I'm saying? Unison. It's all about unison. See, you know, more of there's still more aspects of ourselves that are still ourselves, but there's somewhere where you got to meet in that fucking middle. And that's true. Yo, it's not just relationships. This is society. This is our community. This is our friends. This is our family. This is our biases. This is everything. You understand what I'm saying? But I'm not going to hold y'all up, man. We had a great conversation here. I appreciate everybody tuning in. Again, we'll have a whole lot more of that Wednesday, and we'll have a female perspective on there for that one because I'm sure she's going to talk mad shit back. So we're going to have fun. You know what I'm saying? But again, I appreciate you guys so much. I'm going to let my man Tyson do his 1-2, say his final comments, and we'll get up out of here. I love you guys. Thank you for tuning in.
Hey, so thanks for tuning in. As always, this was food for thought, and no matter what you eat, just clean your plate. Peace.
I got drive like Uber. On the road like the runner bee. These coyotes can't catch up with me. Got these heads blowing like TNT. I got drive like Uber. Yeah, all these lions in this pride with me. Hunting on the daily cause the dream ain't free. Gotta get it now. Time to wait for me. I got drive like Uber.